Hello everyone, happy Saturday, happy Saturday, happy Saturday, happy Saturday. Maybe there's a song, but I couldn't think of it, so I'm going to stop saying it to drum up a song. How's everyone doing this beautiful Saturday? I am doing well, just getting started. Got a lot of space above me. Pipe that down just a tad bit so it's more me than sheet. Yes, my organization is not at 100% this fine morning. Had an interesting day yesterday. As soon as I got off alive, had a conversation with Angel. I keep forgetting the kids are back in school, and so they get out at the same time I'm ending my lives. Hey, Michael Garcia. How are you today? So they get out of school at the exact same time that I end my live. So it's like I have to adjust my ending times now so that I'm available to my children when they get out of school. Hello, Kyle. Welcome, welcome. My name is Lonee Appleton. Hey, C. Bizzle. And this is my life as a classroom. And we're just waiting for share. What does share mean? Let me press that. Why not? Let me share with my people so they know they're good sisters out here. I could share my own life. Who knew? Welcome. My name is Lonee Appleton. I am a healthy family advocate. My content here on this page is to help people heal, help people evolve. There's a spiritual element, there's a physical element, there's relationship talk, there's raising kids, there's everything. It's just overall healing. I don't pigeonhole our healing to one piece of us. I think that's where we kind of get off kilter, because we only focus on the spiritual healing, because we think if we could just get our life aligned with our higher selves, if we could just get our lives aligned with our God, then, we'll be okay. But what I discerned this year was spiritual healing is the first piece. Actually, I discerned it years ago in 2013 when I wrote my first book, What's the Best That Can Happen? Available at LoneeTaylorArt.com, link in bio. But I discerned we were duality in 2013. I realized that we are spirit and we are physical. We are having a spiritual experience and we are having a physical experience. I wrote the perspective of doing the spiritual healing, so getting over the negative self-speak and getting over the disbelief in self and figuring out what your purpose is in life, which the purpose in life is really just to soak up game. We really just came to this earth to soak up game, and that's why we have the experiences that we have. And that's why all of our experiences are unique to ourselves, meaning we all can have the exact same experience and all have a different account of it because our perspectives are all different. So learning to respect all of our individual perspectives and learning how to understand each other. Welcome everyone. AP, those are my initials. Welcome to the live. Welcome. My name again, Lonee Appleton. Just rambling a bit to allow the audience to show up, because I hate starting the conversation, really getting into it, and people who want to be present miss the story. So while we're still waiting, I'll go ahead and talk about a video that I saw while I was scrolling today. I was on this here app. I am beginning to start the migration over to YT because they continue to violate me, and at this point I believe I have a target on my back. I posted a video where it was pitch black because it was at night and I was outside, and I walked over to my window to ask Dre to hand me some water out the window, and they removed the sound for community violations. And so I'm like, I'm getting community violations for nothing. And I appealed it, and then they added the sound back. But I do understand if you have so many community violations, they don't push your content. You know, they violate you on every little thing, which is what has been happening to me since the beginning. So I must be doing something right if they continuously violate my content. But I also know with my content being violated, it's only going to go so far. So I'm starting the migration to YT. I have about 100 something more drafts that I need to publish, and then I'm going to start publishing over there. So my YT, I don't want to say it because I don't want them to flag it, but my YT information is Lonee Appleton Lives. So follow me over there on Lonee Appleton Lives on YT so that you don't miss what's coming in the future. As soon as I get 50 followers, I'll start going live over there versus going live over here, because I lose more of my lives with quote unquote, or so-called, that's what I want to say. I lose most of my lives with so-called community violations and hate speech, which I don't know how anything that ever comes out of my mouth can be received as hate speech, but TikTok has, and so they violate and remove my content all the time. So I gotta go. They don't like this kind of realness over here. And what is this realness? This is healing. This is healing from the outside in, from the inside out. And true healing comes from the inside out. But we can't exclude or ignore the outside. We do the internal work, get ourselves corrected on the spiritual level. Oh, no, I'm just now on my live. Hey, Kat, how you doing? I'm just now starting. I'm just rambling at this point, waiting for people who actually look forward to the live to hop on. So just a little ramble before I get into actually having conversations that matter. Everything matters, but you know, right now I know a bunch of people who are just, you know, scrolling through lives and they're like, who's this lady in the red shirt sitting in her closet? So I'm waiting for the people who actually know what this is to hop on and we could get into it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, you're not late. You're actually early. Hey, you're my first hanger-oner, which means you're actually going to stay and we are going to vibe together. I love when we vibe, so it gets me excited. I sit here and I kind of pay attention to the number, but I don't really. Thank you so much. I love that you love the content. I pay attention to the number, but I don't really pay attention to the number because, you know, as it was explained to me, people are just scrolling lives. That number's going to go up, down, up, down. It's going to do what it do. But I also know for my content, as you just expressed, Kat, it's not for everybody, and who it's for, they know what this is. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the love. Thank you for the love. The hearts tell TikTok to push the live out there. Actually sharing the link with your community pushes the live out there. And, you know, the gifts and all of that shows TikTok that, this might be something people will be interested in. So let's get into it. It is 12:11. Let's go. You know, I was scrolling TikTok earlier, and you know how they go and talk to people on the street and they ask random questions. Well, the guy walked up to this guy and was like, hey, what's the secret that you never told your ex? And the guy was like, my ex of 5 years that I didn't like her. And so I was like, damn, you were in a relationship with someone for 5 years and you didn't like him? Me too. But what caught my attention, not aggravated me, but what caught my attention of that was the young lady who did the commentary afterwards and was like, how dare you waste a woman's, hey, how you doing, Ree? How dare you waste a woman's time? How dare you waste 5 years of this woman's time? And I'm just sitting there, I was like, if this woman has any type of awareness, she knew this man did not like her within the first month of them being together. They did not make it 5 years. You do not make it 5 years in an intimate relationship and not know based off of the treatment of your spouse that they don't like you. Why? Because if anybody's not able to effectively mask, a man is one of the worst maskers out here because they don't know how to pretend. They don't. They don't know how to pretend. Maybe that's a skill we teach our daughters, or maybe it's innate. I don't know, nature versus nurture. But there ain't no way in hell that that woman was in that relationship for 5 years and didn't know that that man didn't like her. Because men treat what they value with value. So if he did not value her, she knew that she wasn't valued, and she accepted that treatment. So for that woman to hop in with the commentary talking about it's his fault, he wasted her time. He didn't waste shit. She wasted her time. I was in a relationship prior to Dre. I only count 3 relationships, including my marriage. But I only count 2 relationships before Dre. Now, were there people, who are you speaking of? I should have sent the video to you. It was a video I saw on my feed. I may have liked it, so after this, I'll send it to you. But yeah, this guy is walking down the street doing interviews, and he asked this guy, what's one secret that you would tell your ex? And he was like, I would tell her for our 5-year relationship, I didn't like her. And then the lady comes in with the stitch, and she's like, you wasted her time and she could have moved on and did something else. And I was just like, ain't no way this woman was in this relationship for 5 years and had no inclination. I have yet to meet a man that is that good of a masker. You know what I'm saying? For 5 years, he left that woman disillusioned, thinking that he liked her. Now this woman accepted whatever treatment she received from him, and she still chose to hold on to, I don't care if he marries me, great. She held on to that relationship for 5 years until probably because that man was willing to be in a relationship that he didn't like the person for 5 years, probably she's the one that finally realized this is going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And she broke it off. But we can't sit here. The whole reason why that bothered me is we can't sit here and blame men for the time that we allow to be wasted. I was in 2 relationships. I was in a 3-year relationship and I was in a 5-year relationship. Both of those people, from the moment I saw them, I did not like them. One of them, the moment I heard his voice, actually, before we got into the relationship, we were all sitting in VIP together, and I heard him talking to his people, and I was just like, I don't like him. Like, off top, I was like, I hope he doesn't come over here and try to talk to me. Well, when we're leaving, he stops me when we're leaving the club, and I'm so desperate for attention. I'm so desperate for someone to actually treat me like a human being, that he asked me for my number, and my initial response to him, and boom, the reason why I allowed myself to go into relationships and be in prolonged relationships, because I grew up hearing women say, if he likes you, sis, that's good enough. If he treats you, any type of way, that's good enough. And when the man proposed to me, which is not one of the people I consider a natural relationship, he's not one of the 2, but when the man proposed to me and I had to get the ring cut off of my finger, when he said, hey, he dropped all these, I'm telling multiple stories per usual. He dropped all these wedding books in front of me, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus, he's about to propose. And then he proposes, and I'm like, hold on. And I run into the bathroom and I call my cousin. If you have to call somebody before accepting a proposal, it's not a proposal you need to accept. But I call my cousin and I'm like, girl, he done proposed. What do I do? And she's like, well, he may not propose again, so you better accept it. So I questioned the proposal when the proposal came through. Welcome everyone to the live. I'm Lonee Appleton. This is My Life as a Classroom, Monday through Saturday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I just talk about my life. You guys talk amongst yourselves within the comments. And, we just vibe the fuck out. And the chances are, if you guys vibe in the comment and you guys vibe with me, we're all kind of aligned somehow. And that might be an association that you can make to expand your network. So that's what we're doing. We're building community within As the Apple Turns, but we're building community outside of that. And something I really love is, because TikTok tells me when you guys comment on each other's pages for some reason, but I love to see how you guys are connecting. And, I'm like, oh, I know this person and they know each other. That's so cool. So the networks are expanding, and it's so beautiful. But, I was willing to marry that man. I didn't love that man, but I wanted to have the marriage experience. But something that I know that I am happily married. No air quotes. I am happily married. Now that I am happily married, and being happily married doesn't mean you're happy all the damn time. Being happily married means you are married to someone who treats you with the respect that you feel that you deserve and elevates the respect that you think you deserve. Like, my husband taught me how to love myself. I think that's a pretty good exchange. You know what I'm saying? No other man taught me how to love myself, but my husband loved me to the degree, flaws and all, where he taught me to love myself. So boom. Once you're happily married, you realize that just having the marriage experience is not marriage at all. You know what I'm saying? So if you are married and you are miserable, that's not marriage. You're just in a miserable relationship that you are contractually obligated to. That is the only thing that changed. You are still with a fucking nigga and you just happen to be legally bound to him. And now you got to pay money to get up out of this one. So, you know, when this woman is talking about he wasted her time and blah, 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 pretty much blaming the man. Like, she probably didn't like him either. The two relationships, I didn't like them, and they they didn't like me because they didn't treat me like they liked me. They didn't treat me like they were fearful of losing me. They didn't treat me any type of way except for check that box, moving on. I was a box they checked. They were a box I checked. So now I can say I have a boyfriend, because I didn't have a boyfriend until I was 18 years old. I went all through my school years and all of that, never having a boyfriend. And so when the first guy that came around, hey, Trin, hey guys, welcome to the live. If I haven't welcomed you by name, I'm sorry. I didn't see your names when you popped up, but welcome all of you. Yes, man, I'm telling you, and it's so crazy because when I admit that I dated people that I don't like, other females meet me with, oh my God, I can't believe that you dated people you don't like. I'm sure that you have dealt with humans that you didn't particularly like simply because they were filling something in for you. We have all of these deficits within ourselves. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you for liking. Thank you for the love. We have all these deficits that we're looking to be filled, and sometimes we fill them with whatever happens. And so, yeah, that video just bothered me. But I left it alone because I'm like, I'm going to let you be good, sis. I'm going to let you be great because you feel confident in what you're saying. But in what you're saying, you are just continuing to perpetuate, I think that's the word. You're continuing to send forth the narrative that we as women are victims, that we as women have zero control over the relationships and the time that we choose to spend. We sit here and we waste our own time. Now, some of them play good. Some of them play good. They play good enough to get us into the relationship. Some of them are good enough for that. But how long was it? My first relationship, I think it was immediate. My 3, I don't know which one was 3, which one's 5. I always interchange it. But my first relationship when I was 18, that had me sucked in within a month or less. We were in a relationship. The second guy, 3 weeks. I knew him for 3 weeks. He asked me to be his girlfriend. We were together. So we cannot say, oh, I had no idea. He's a narcissist. He blah, 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 blah. Sis, you entered into a relationship in 3 weeks. Who do you know in 3 weeks? Who? If you're spending 24 hours with someone, maybe you know a little bit more than someone who you saw 3 times in a 3-week time period. Thank you so much, Kat. Ooh, when it makes noise. Boom. Someone that you've seen 3 times in a 3-week time period, maybe if you spent 24 hours versus those 3 times, you might know them more, but still, we rush into relationships. So you can't say, I had no idea. You didn't give yourself a chance to know. You did not allow the opportunity to be friends first. And that is something that I have learned and I preach with my husband, because I met my husband in 2010. And in 2010, we were friends. Actually, we were frenemies because he stole my seat. One of the pictures from the photo shoot in Jamaica where he's pulling me out the seat, that's actually a reenactment. per the photographer's vision. Guys, if you ever go to Sandals and the Grill and Byron is the photographer, you're going to have an amazing experience. Let him feel comfortable. Hopefully he knows how to let you feel comfortable. But Byron banged those goddamn photos out, and he had only been taking pictures for a week. I'm sure nobody from Sandals will see this live. So Spirit told me, bring your camera, Lonnie. I have 2 cameras. I have, a Canon that I bought. We might as well have props, right? Shoot. I like my receipts. I pop that stuff in every video. So this happened. Receipt. Those are the kind of receipts I like. So I have this camera, because I started vlogging in 2019. Actually, my background is in photography, i.e. not i.e. But my background, as in high school, I took photography. So that's my background. I took photography in high school, and actually one of my photos won an award because I apparently have an eye. So I bought this camera not to record video. This isn't a very good videography, vlogging camera. This bitch is heavy as hell. Me and Dre were walking through Chicago, and I'm walking with this big ass camera. So when we first started our YouTube, As the Apple Turns, our Chicago trip, which was one of his, which one is that? Mine is similar. This is a Canon EOS Rebel T6. Our trip in Chicago was filmed on this camera, and I bought it to take photos because I started doing photos. Dre used to be the one that was always filming videos, and I'm like, get that damn video out of my face. And I was always taking the pictures. And then in September of 2019, I switched to vlogging and started recording everything. So I have this camera, and then I had another Canon camera that I begged Dre for. It was, and I said that I'm going to stop talking about money because I believe that is one of my things that I'm supposed to be learning during this financial space that I'm in, because $1 is nothing to somebody, but $1 is something to somebody. So what is a lot of money? What is a lot of money? But I had this camera, and I feel that the cost is relevant to this story because it was a $700 camera. This one's a $300 camera. And the one that I wanted was just the perfect vlogging camera. Everybody's using it. I did all my research, and I was like, Dre, I want this camera. He's like, you already have a camera. I was like, no, but this camera's dope. I need this camera. It's a $700 camera. I'm not buying you that damn camera. Please buy me the camera. And then, I do my whole thing and I get my damn camera, right? I went with that camera. I went and took a how to use your camera class. And I still don't know how to use that goddamn camera. F-stop and all that stuff. Apertures. I don't know how to do that. And I took a whole class. I took photography, I want to say, all 4 years in high school. Dark room and everything. Developing pictures. Yeah, that was my jam. Still don't know how to use that damn camera. It's always on auto. You know what I'm saying? And with my other one, and this is what I told Dre, I want to learn photography. I don't want to learn how to use the camera. So my passion is in the photographs, but a byproduct of getting the photographs is me learning how to use the damn camera. But I could never get my life together enough to do it. I know. I'm learning how not to give up on myself. I started working out. Yesterday was day 5. Injured my knee. I was laid up, Dre rubbing icy hot on my knee. I was like, oh, Lord Jesus, do I need to put a pillow under it? I done hurt myself. I'm going to post a video. I was boxing, y'all. My ass was in there fighting for my life. I was like, and I picked the calorie burn one. I didn't pick the matches, which means this never ended. They gave us like a 5-second break in between these rounds. So I'm just fighting for my life. I'm like, he won't go down. I start mollywopping. I start bitch slapping. I start windmilling. I'm in there like this. And then I reverse windmill. I'm like, Lord Jesus. Then I catch a cramp. So now I got this cramp and I'm in there. Get him off me. He's just beating my ass. And then eventually I could just go like this. This is all I could do. And they're like, rest period number 11. God damn it, how many rest periods are there in the fight? I'm calling for Rocky. I'm like, Rocco, in the fight. This man is beating my ass and I can't even fight back. I'm in so much pain. Yeah, so I twist somehow in all of that. I twisted my knee. And I have bad knees. And so I was laid up all night, Dre rubbing icy hot. I'm telling you, Dre rubbing icy hot on my knee. I'm just like, I don't even know what the hell's going on. My old ass knew better than to thinking I was Creed out here Apollo and about to square up with somebody. Nah, it was bad news. Anyway, he buys me the camera for Christmas. I can't even figure out how to get past turning the damn camera on. I'm watching all the YouTube channels. I can't figure out how to use this damn camera. And by then, I just defaulted. I went and bought a Samsung, upgraded my phone, because I've never been big about upgrading my phone. But when I was just like, I could, instead of, lugging this big ass thing around, instead of learning how to use this camera, I could just pull my phone out and capture in the moment. Not, hold on, let me set my camera up. No, I just pull my phone up and capture stuff. And so, man, those goddamn, my VR is charging right now. So after this, my knee feels better. I'm gonna play some Beat Saber. I like that little game. Anyway, so it's good cardio. Anyway, so I have this camera, and Spirit said, Lonnie, pack your camera. You could get some really good, because that video montage that I did of like throwback pictures of 2019 of my family, those are taken on my camera. And so those photos are beautiful. And I was like, damn, I'm about to be in Jamaica. I want some dope ass photos. So I packed my camera. We get to Jamaica, and what does Lonnie do? Lonnie takes all her photos and takes all her video on her iPhone. And I have this damn camera. But we meet Byron, and I'm, feed into him. And I'm a problem solver. That's when people talk to me, I'm listening, but I'm listening to solve your problem. I'm not listening so I can say me too, sis. But I do say me too in the respect that I understand what you're saying and I know how to help you. Not me too, let's jump in this mud pool together, and get dirty together. No, me too. Let me pull you up out of it, because I know how to get you up out of it. You know what I'm saying? Or I can give you some tools to help you get out of it. My methodology may not be your methodology, but if I give you kind of some pointers, and you can figure this shit out too. Because the reason why I inspire others is because I look like you, I talk like you, my background is kind of like yours. My background is so varied. I bet you all the different backgrounds of the people out there that are attracted to me, I touch every single one of y'all's backgrounds, because I have such a diverse background, And so because of that, you can see someone like me and see me doing something and realize your own power. You know what I'm saying? So that's the beauty of this community, is that we all can look at each other and realize our own power, because we see our sister girls or our fellow humans doing whatever, and they're starting where I'm starting. How are we different? How is Lonnie better than you? She's not. Which means whatever you see Lonnie doing is possible for you too. And she's showing you by demonstrating it live on TikTok. I'm starting the migration to YT, Lonnie Taylor Lives. Please go follow me over there, because after I post the drafts that I have over here, because they are continuously violating me, and I know my content's not going to do what it needs to do. So eventually I'm going to stop producing here, and I'm going to move over there. So spread the word. I'm going to ultimately disappear. If that's the plan, because I got a community violation today, because I walked over to my window and I knocked on the window and I asked Dre to hand me some water through the window. Your sound was removed for community violations. Filming a video in the dark, walking barefoot through rocks, asking my husband to hand me some water through a window. I may have said the N-word. There might have been another cuss word, but I have seen terrible, terrible, terrible things on this here app. And you want to tell me saying the N-word once was my community violation? Yeah, I gotta go because you don't appreciate me over here. You guys do, but this platform is not going to allow me to be great. So I gotta go where I could be great. But I also gotta go where the people are. So hopefully you guys come with, you know. Anyway, back to the camera. So we meet Byron, and all of that was happenstance. I told the story before, but it's relevant, so let's have it again. You know, our original photo shoot, and thank you for all the hearts and the love. We are already up to 6K likes. I appreciate. Thank you for the shares. Thank you so much for being here with me. I truly do appreciate you. Our original, first of all, we didn't know about a photo shoot. It's a money grab. Soon as you get in, they're like, your complimentary photo shoot is at this time, and we're like, oh, okay, I gotta buy pictures now. And so we get there and they're like, your complimentary photo shoot is at 4:00. And I look at my watch and I'm like, well, it's 4:35. So I believe that we've missed our photo shoot. And she's like, oh yeah, it is. Let me see if I can reschedule it for you. And so they reschedule it for 6:30. So that now put us on Byron's, schedule versus whoever was our 4:00 photographer. Might have been Byron. I don't know. But I know we were supposed to have photos at 4, but somehow we ended up getting them at 6:00. Byron calls our room and he's like, hey, are you guys excited and ready for your 6:30, photo shoot? And I'm like, sure, why not? We wore our white clothes because we were going to get remarried out there. That was my surprise for Dre. It was originally a birthday trip in 2022. But because I ran out of money, I had to move it to, it was an anniversary gift for 2022. But because I ran out of money and it went from being a gift to now I need you to actually help me pay for this, it no longer became a surprise. And now we have to move it to 2023, a birthday trip. But my travel agent, I did not communicate to my travel agent that, hey, hold on. I did not communicate to not my travel agent. Travel agent? Yeah, is that the person who plans your trips? I don't know, the trip planner lady. I don't know what their titles are presently. It just slipped my mind. But anyway, I didn't communicate to that. And so she did not move the wedding to the birthday. And so I didn't know that. So I still had us buy white clothes. So I was like, we need to wear white on the beach. And you will be surprised if you have not gone to an island how many couples feel it's customary to wear white on the beach. Because when we got there, everybody's coupled up in their white. I was like, okay, so this is a thing. But it was a surprise wedding, but it never happened. So I was like, okay, we have these clothes that look alike so we can wear our white today since the wedding's not going to happen. And that's how we linked up with Byron. I tell that story because I didn't post a video because they're not supposed to receive gratuity and they're not supposed to receive any of those things. But like I said, the likelihood of somebody from Sandals catching this live, I think is slim to none, so I could tell the story. But Spirit told me, give Byron your camera. And I was just like, okay, I'm not using it. Spirit told me to bring this camera all the way to Jamaica. I ain't took one photo. I forgot about this goddamn camera. But after meeting Byron and feeding into his spirit, and I'm like, what tools can I give him besides verbal encouragement? Is there something else I could do for him? Like, I made it very imperative of him. I was like, here's our contact information. Get in contact with us, because when I get to the point that I need a photographer, you're going to be my photographer if I can get in contact with you. I see your vision, and I ain't even seen your pictures yet. But I know that this is something that you can do. I just feel it on you. And so I gave him our social medias so he could find us on social media if he chooses, because, he was like, I want to be able to watch these videos back. And I was like, well, I'm going to post them on my social media, so here's the information. But I was sitting at the bar with Dre, and I was like, I want to give Byron my camera. And my husband was like, you ain't going to give that boy that goddamn camera. I spent all that money on that camera. You ain't giving that camera away. I was like, babe, you spent all that money on that goddamn camera, and that camera has been collecting dust in our closet since you bought me that camera, because I don't know how to use it. But Byron knows how to use it. He uses a Nikon, but still, once you know aperture speed and all that other stuff, you can just transfer to another camera. You know what I'm saying? Once you have the basic knowledge, you just have to learn the nuts and bolts of your present. So I was just like, I want to give it to him. He's like, no. I was like, okay, I'm going to respect that you're saying no. Because while we're in Jamaica, I told Dre, I was like, for the next 30 days, I'm not going to question your authority. Which means if you say something, that's what goes. So, I don't know how many days it's been, but I am just in the space that whatever Dre says goes. If I want to allow, because it is an allowing, right? Yielding, it is an allowing. You know, if I want my husband to know that his voice matters, if I want my husband to know that his opinion matters, and I don't want him to always feel overruled by me, that means that I have to yield to him. So I told him in Jamaica, I was like, whatever you say for the next 30 days, it's whatever. So he told me no. And of course I was like, come on, like I was like, why? Why no? You know, I was like, I'm going to listen to you, but I'm curious your why. And he was like, because I spent all that money on that camera. I was like, okay, what is all that money really on antiquated technology? When we bought it, it was already antiquated technology. So the $700 we spent on it, was it even worth the $700 that we spent on it in the world of technology? And now here we are, you know, several years later, 2019, 2021, 22, 23, 4 years later, you know, maybe 3 years, whatever, whenever that camera was produced, because it's not when I bought it, it's whenever that camera was manufactured, how old that camera is. So here we are with this camera that I haven't taken one picture on in 4 years. I've taken pictures, but them pictures stayed on the camera because it was just too much work. I was just like, man, I'm just going to take a picture with my phone. I was taking a picture with the camera. I was like, fuck it, here's my phone. Same difference. You know, so I haven't used that camera in 4 years. And because of the money spent on the camera, you would rather hold on to it and hoard it instead of blessing somebody else with it. And I didn't use that language. I'm just using that language now because I believe that I'm speaking to someone in this respect. You are holding on to something that no longer serves you. You are actually buying something on the behalf of someone else and you don't even know it. I bought that camera in 2019, 2020, whenever I bought the camera, when Dre bought the camera. You know, he bought that camera when he bought that camera so that in 2023, it can be given to Byron. It can be given to someone who may never have an opportunity to purchase a camera and pursue their dreams. So we don't know why we're doing anything. I'm telling you, Ree, we don't know why we're doing anything, but if we want to just hold on to anything for pride and ego, right now we're looking at our trucks potentially getting repossessed, depends on how everything works out. But, you know, I'm like, Dre, I'm willing, and I only owe $3,000 more on my truck. I am so close to the finish line. And I'm like, I had to process through, you have been paying on this truck, you have invested X amount of thousands of dollars, you know, that's why you're trying to hold on to this truck. You're trying to hold on to this truck because you're so close to the finish line. You're trying to hold on to this relationship because you've invested all of this time. You're trying to hold on to this job because of all this time. You're trying to hold on to all of these things that are trying to come to an end for you. And you're like, because circumstances are that which the ending is coming, you're not looking at it as divine using the circumstances to remove it. So you were trying to hold on to it. And so I had to come to that space within myself where I was just like, you know what? I know that I'm $3,000 away from paying this truck off. But the legality is the word that I want to use. The litigation. The litigation of them repossessing that truck and all the fees associated with that will shoot that truck from $3,000 left to $10,000. Is it worth it to me? It's not. I don't know how much the fees are going to be, but I know it's going to be more than the $3,000 I owe. And I was like, you know what? They can have it. And I asked Dre, and he was like, no, they can't have it. I'm about to get the money, you know, he's going to figure out the money situation, blah, blah, blah. And he going to get right and then get the trucks. And I was just like, why though? He was like, because I'm too old to be losing stuff. And, all the things that we say, we're too old. This shouldn't be happening at this stage in my life. And, all the different things. And I'm just like, I understand, but that's pride talking. That's ego talking. But if we could stop looking at the fact that we spent $700 on the camera, but we haven't used a camera in 4 years, but this boy can build a career off of this camera. If we could look at, I only owe $3,000 on this truck, but the truck is broken down and we can't even afford to fix it, and now they're trying to repossess it, maybe it's time. We don't want these trucks anyway. My husband's truck literally leaks when it rains. When it rains, there is somehow a seal that is broken somewhere, and there is water that leaks into the truck. And I'm like, you fighting to keep this? Okay, I get it. We need a vehicle. Shit, we got 3 trucks, or we got 3 cars. I don't know how that happened. I know how it happened. My husband wanted to start a Toro business, and so he went and financed a Jeep. And now we got a Jeep. Man, I was so mad when he went. And don't you hate when your spouse go and make major financial decisions and don't even bring you in? And he didn't bring me in because he knew I would say no. And this was in the beginning of me learning how to not berate him and talk down to him about his decisions. That shit ate me up when he came home with that goddamn Jeep. And he's like, I'm starting a Turo business. And I'm just like, we are struggling. Hey, Patricia, we are struggling maintaining what we have. Hey, friend. And you went and bought another truck, and he was like, it was only this much money. He dropped $30,000 off of the price than how much it really was. And then just all the fees and costs monthly, so my husband, initially I was in charge of the money. And yes, we were living off of savings. We were living off of lump sums, something I've always been good about getting our lump sums. And, so we've been living off of credit and all these different things. And I've been telling my husband, I was like, the savings are running out. The savings is running out. The savings is running out, And we're steady living, steady doing. And savings ran out. So now we switched from savings to credit cards. Now we're living on credit cards. And I'm like, babe, we got to correct this ship. And one thing about my husband is he won't talk to me about finances. He'll just say, I don't know. And I'm like, well, babe, we got to figure something out because I don't know either, but we at least got to get on the same page of how we're going to work this out. And so now we're here. We're now in this space of, yes, our financial irresponsibility has left us here. And even in that, his clientele has dried up to some days, like, he doesn't even have any clients. Like, this is unheard of. And so just being in this financial space and trying to hold on to things, and I'm talking about this not because of finances, I'm talking about this because this is yet another circumstance that we are holding on to stuff that no longer serves us. I am sitting in a closet full of stuff that has just been in this closet since we moved here because we just move stuff from place to place to place. We take stuff with us that we don't need. We collect all these bags and we have all of this baggage. I have this purse. This is my first Coach bag. I bought this when Bailey, I don't even like bags. I carry that Coach bag because Dre got it for me, but it's like over the shoulder, little small, just fits my 380 in it. That's all I need. This is my first Coach bag. I bought this when Bailey was like, she was still in a rear facing car seat. We drove over to the outlets because my best friend at the time, she was really into bags. Like her, she has the memory where her dad bought her first bag and all these different things. So bags were important to her. And me trying to be a girl, I was like, well, bags must be important to me too. So we drove out to the outlets and I bought this bag. This bag has no significant meaning to me, even though I can tell you the exact date that I got it. But if I saw someone and they needed a bag, here's a bag. But why am I holding on to this bag still today? Why are we holding on to the baggage that we're choosing to hold on to in life? Why? Let it go, Ree. Let it go. We gotta we got to release the things that no longer serve us, and we have to say, oh, well, this is the reason why I'm losing it. No. And I say this all the time. Jeff Foxworthy, he's a comedian. He did a stand-up back when they had stand-up CDs. My cousin bought it, and it was called Here's Your Memories, whatever. Here's your sign, or here's your boulder. The premise of the stand-up was, God's going to get your attention. God's going to get your attention, whether you get it from the pebbles that he is throwing at you, or God's going to get your attention because he picked up a goddamn boulder and hurled it at your head. And it is our job to increase in discernment. It is our job to increase in awareness and connectivity with our higher selves, for us to know when a pebble gets thrown at us, we catch that stuff and it feels like a boulder. That pebble feels like a boulder because we do not want circumstances to get to the point of a boulder. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting a divorce because you caught him cheating. You've known this person is cheating. Have a come to Jesus moment with yourself, and you knew. You knew. You just ignored it. I'm getting ready to publish a video on my page where I'm talking about, you know what, if I found out Dre was cheating on me, I probably wouldn't leave him. And I know how that makes me sound. But I'm probably just one of the first women to admit, if she found out that her spouse was cheating on her, she wouldn't leave him. But I'm not the first woman to say that, because there are plenty of women who know that their spouse is cheating on them, and they're choosing to say, you know what, my life is okay. The embarrassment in my spouse cheating on me, aside from health things, hey, this is hypothetical, and we all can, I'm just speaking the truth. It doesn't have to be your truth. But what I'm saying is, it's all hypothetical. I don't know, because I'm open to an open relationship. I won't have an open relationship, but I don't see anything wrong with it. So the only difference between an open relationship and infidelity is the deception. So if I found out that my husband was cheating on me, it would not be that he's sleeping with someone else. I don't care. I don't care. Sex isn't that important to me. It doesn't hold that value to me. Now I understand the emotional connection. I have a problem if he's over there having deep conversations with somebody else more than him sticking his dick in somebody else, because that's the connectivity that matters to me. But a lot of times for women in these situations, it's not the infidelity. It's that people know about the infidelity. Because I was like, how do I know this woman's husband is cheating on her and I don't say anything to her? How is that sisterhood? Well, I was like, well, I don't say nothing to her because I don't know how she's going to react. And then I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, and it's all in the video, but I'm sitting here thinking, I was just like, how does she not know that her husband's cheating? How does she not know? If I know, and you live every day with this man, and you have watched this man move the way that this man moves, and you're paying attention. Not too many of us don't pay attention. Even if our not paying attention, I did not care nothing about my first boyfriend. He was cheating on me. I found out that he was cheating on me. Boom, here's a case. Yeah. I'm now, but I won't say that I'm 99% certain that I wouldn't leave, because I've been cheated on before and I didn't leave. But what I will say is, I have been in a circumstance where I knew I was being cheated on, and I stayed, and I just started cheating too. I'm not a cheater. That is the first time I cheated the duration of the relationship, because at this point, we just were roommates who had sex. We weren't in a relationship. We did nothing together. We didn't sit down on the couch and have conversations. The two relationships I had, the only thing that we had in common was sex. We never set up and did pillow talk. We never set up and went places. The things that they found fun, I didn't find fun. And back then, yesterday on the live, we talked about having things in common and not having things in common. I don't have to like the things that you like to do. I just have to like you. And the fun for me is hanging out with you. We could do whatever the hell, you know. But back then, if we went and did something that I didn't want to do, it was known that I don't want to do this. I'm not yielding to satisfy you. This sucks and I don't want to be here. And so, but my very first relationship, I found out not even 2 months into the relationship that he was cheating on me. And I've told this story before, but I'm not sure where I told it. But yeah, he used to let me drive his cars. He was 14 years older than me. I was 18 and he was like 32 or something like that. I know. But here we are. I didn't know then, and no one around me. Everyone told me that he was possessive because he would call and, check on me. And I thought that was cute. Ooh, girl, he wants to know who I'm with and what I'm doing. Oh, my God. That's why I made that skit that I did a while back, because I was her. And, I didn't see any of that as him being controlling. I just thought he was the first guy in my life to actually care about me. And so I entered into this relationship, 18-year-old child with this 32-year-old man child, and he never was faithful to me, but he moved me in and we lived together and all these different things. And we look at all those things like they matter. Oh, he moved me in. There's no way that he's doing these things, or he did all that. There's no way. I met his mom. I'm special. None of that matters. So I go over his house because he would let me go over here because he worked nights or whatever. He wasn't home at night sometimes. But I was always able to go over his house and go sleep in his bed so that when he got home, I was in his bed. But his brother was his roommate, so I didn't have a key to his place, but I would just knock on the door and his brother would let me in and I would just go back to the room and go to sleep. So one night I get a hair up my ass. I was like, I'm going to go sleep in so-and-so's bed. So I go and go over to the house, and the lights are off, the fireplace is going, and Luther Vandross is playing. I was just like, okay, mood set. I knock on the door and nobody answers. I knock on the door again, nobody answers. And I was like, I know this ain't in here. Because any other time I go, his brother opens the door. But this one time, brother's not opening the door, which automatically sends off alarms, which automatically should have said, this relationship is over. I knew in 2 weeks into this, not 2 weeks, 2 months into this relationship that this wasn't, but I still stayed. And so, and I want you guys to listen to this story and be like, damn, you stupid. But I want you to also listen to this story and see how you have found yourself in situations where you knew at the very beginning that this wasn't it. And do not limit it to relationships, intimate relationships. I want you to look at friendships. I want you to look at jobs. I want you to look at all things in your life that are presently making you miserable. And you probably knew in the very beginning, here's your pebble. Boop. This ain't for you. But we still press forward. So I go because I'm hot-tempered, 18 years old and feisty. How do I know they listen to Luther Vandross? Because the window is open. So I commenced to start taking the screen off the window. Shit, I'm about to get into this house. We about to figure some stuff out. And when I start taking the screen off, his brother comes to the window and pushes me back and says, hey, what you doing? What you doing? No, I'm in my closet. And so, he pushes me out the window, asks me what I'm doing. I was like, look, I said his name. Nigga name's Terry. Terry said that I could come sleep in his bed, and we've been doing this for X amount of weeks. I don't understand why tonight. Yes, good to see you. Thank you for dropping in. I don't know why tonight's any different. I just like, if you have company, that's great. Just let me skirt past you and go to the bedroom. He wouldn't let me in. And that's when I knew Terry was in there with a woman. And so I get in the truck. I'm sure I'm blah, 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 talking loud because I feel that's going to change something. So I'm talking loud, blah, 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 hop in his truck, skirt off. And while I'm driving off, he's like, it's really good to see you. It's really good to see you. I haven't seen you in very long, and I just saw you popped into my comments the other day. It's really good to see you. Um, I'm driving off, and Terry calls me, and he's like, what's going on? So-and-so called me and told me you were at the house. He has company, so that's why he wouldn't let you in. I was like, Terry, there has been a lot of times that I have came to that house and your brother has had company, but this is the first time I've come over and he has company and I can't get in, which leads me to believe that you are in that house with someone. Man, I'm at the casino. I'm like, where's the casino? I want to see you standing in front of the casino. And back then, this was before GPS, so I ain't got no sense of direction. He could have told me where and I still would have been, I'd probably still be lost in the desert right now looking for this casino because I don't know where the hell I'm going. Thank God for GPS. I just learned how to read street signs not too long ago in my 30s. Yes, I was just like, and I was so proud of myself. I was like, oh my God, odd over here, even over here. Oh my God, I don't have common sense. And we had this conversation last night. Bailey said it's my fault that I don't have common sense. I was just, no, it might be, and there's some work that I could potentially do, but I just think so far ahead that the simplest answer, which is common sense, I jump right past what makes sense, and I overcomplicate everything. So, I have no sense of direction. To this day, I have to navigate to places I've been multiple times just because that's just something I don't commit to my memory. Anyway, so I was like, I want to see you in front of the casino, and he's like, I'm at this casino, blah, 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 and I never go to the casino, but I think I go back to the house and I just lurk to go see if somebody comes out the house. But even if I saw somebody coming out the house, what would I have done about it? Yes. I think we all mesh because we're all overthinkers. I think that's what, if you understand how I think, that means that you're an overthinker. I'm 99% sure that's why we all get along. Anyway, so that was the day that I found out he was cheating on me, and I still remained in a relationship with him for either 3 or 5 years, and I just started cheating on him. And I'm not a cheater, but I emotionally removed myself from the relationship, but now I realized it then, but it was a financially abusive relationship. It was an emotionally abusive relationship. And it wasn't a verbally abusive relationship, and but it was, nobody's ever going to love you like I love you. You go out there and you're going to let these men use you up. No one's going to treat you the way that I treat you. These are the types of things that he used to say to me, and I believed it because he was the first man in my life to want to date me, to take me seriously. He was the first man in my life who didn't just want to fuck me. So I was like, yeah, he's probably right. So when I found out he was cheating on me, I was just like, I'll just cheat back. And that was our relationship. He never stopped cheating on me. I never stopped cheating on him. I've never cheated before him, and I've never cheated after, because I am not a cheater. But in those particular circumstances, it was a tit for tat. So I have definitely been in a situation in my history, and not saying that I'm the same dumbass 18-year-old girl, but I know that I'm open to an open relationship. So if my husband's like, hey, we've actually had these conversations. He's like, no, I would never be in an open relationship. I was like, okay. Just curious. Not that I'm interested in sleeping with anyone else. It's just that I don't feel that we should be restricted. Sex is just sex to me. It doesn't matter. I remember having a conversation with my cousins when we were in our 20s. And they're like, what's the most important? This is a good question to you guys. What's the most important thing in a relationship? And they were all saying sex, sex, sex. And I was like, sex doesn't matter to me. It's never really mattered to me, even though I've had a lot of it. It's never really mattered. And maybe that's why it doesn't matter, because it's never mattered. It's never been, with Dre, it's intimate. With Dre, it's connectivity. With Dre, it's so much more than just sticking your dick in a hole. You know what I'm saying? But prior to that, I was just like, I could take it or I could leave it. And so, yeah, that's why I have been in relationships. Every single relationship that I have been in, cheating allegations have been there, or I knew I wasn't the only woman. And we weren't in relationships, I just was one of many. This is the first relationship in my life that I'm aware of that I am the only woman that he's with. That's weird. That's weird. That's weird. Because now, like, Patricia, you made me do some self-reflection with the nah. I was like, yeah, I get it. Nah, I get it, sis. Because I'm thinking in real life, if I found out my husband was cheating on me, I'm out. But why would I be out is the question. You know what I'm saying? That's why. Why would I be out? Would I be out because society tells me to be out? But I love my life. My life is dope as fuck. It's not dope in the physical world, but in all other elements, my life is, and that's the crazy part. With my life in the physical world being the lowest it's ever been, but in every other aspect, spiritual, emotional, all the other O's, my life is the best it's ever been. And all of that could be happening right now with my husband fucking another woman right now. So am I willing to disrupt the best life I've ever had because I found out that he's sleeping with someone else? I don't know. And if I did, why? Why? The why is important to me. But I think once I knew the infidelity, all the other things would come in, the deception and all the different things and the whole illusion, the lie. I don't know. Like I said, it's all hypothetical and it's not happening. But I do think if I were to make a move, it would be because I don't want you guys to judge me as I stayed. You so stupid, girl. I don't want to be stupid, girl. I want to be a smart girl. So I would leave and I would go struggle with my 4 children, 42 years old, single again, and, go sleep in my dad's back room because I don't have an income right now. So my next move, to prove a point to you guys, not me, because I'm actually okay with it, but to prove a point to not you guys literally, but you understand what I'm saying. We make moves in our lives, not for us. We make moves in our lives because what will people think? What will people say? And we take that into consideration and we make some of the most drastic changes in movements in our lives because of perception of others. So I don't know. More than likely, okay, you said something before that. Comprehensive verbal and nonverbal communication and intimacy on more than just a physical level. That's what I have with Dre. So to violate that, I don't know how I would respond to that. I could just theorize based on the headspace that I'm in. But to find out that that's happening, now emotion kicks in, and emotion switches from logical brain to reactive brain. In reactive brain, I don't ever want to live my life in reactive brain again. So logically, I can theorize. More than likely, not being able to accept that you're not their best compatible partner for most. Yeah, because what did I do? Because I would think that. I'm like, okay, what am I not giving you that you are now going to seek that outside of me? I definitely thought about that. I was just like, well, but I think that's so silly because when men cheat, people cheat in general. When people cheat, it's not necessarily a deficit that is happening within the relationship. You know what I'm saying? First of all, you shouldn't be in the relationship. And this segues into the next topic. You shouldn't be in a relationship that no longer serves you. It may have served you when you got into the relationship, but if you are continuously evolving and changing and your spouse is continuously evolving and changing, because we all evolve and change, if we're continuously doing those things, but you're evolving and you're changing this way instead of evolving and changing this way. Soulmates, I say evolve and change like this. That's why you find your soulmate, because your evolution and your change happen simultaneously. And once you recognize it, now you can flow together. But non-soulmates, they evolve and change at different times and different rates. But if you recognize it, then you can be there and support your spouse when they're going through it, and they can be there and support you while you're going through it. And that now you have an understanding that even though we don't flow together, we're flowing together. You know what I'm saying? But if you're evolving and you're changing, and you're evolving and changing like this, I don't care how many years you have put into this relationship, if you are not stopping this and somehow getting it to this, then all you're going to do is, I've been married for 20 years and my wife lives over there and I live over there. Y'all can live in the exact same house and still you live over there and they live over there. But we're impressed because they got 20 years behind them. So if whatever you're experiencing, jobs, friendships, relationships, whatever it is, and it's no longer fulfilling you, it's ran its course, or some conversations need to be had. Because I'm not a proponent for divorce. I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, stick a pin in it, it's done. No, let's have some conversations. We talk to our friends, we talk online, like the guy who was just like, for 5 years, I didn't even like her. And one of the points that the lady pointed out, she was like, how can he admit something to a stranger on a street corner in 2 seconds, but never told this woman in 5 years? And so we talk to everyone, but the person we need to talk to correct it. Because if he would have had a conversation with this chick that he didn't like for 5 years, maybe the characteristics that she had that he didn't like potentially could have been worked on. Those were growth opportunities for her. And he left her out there. He didn't care enough to say anything. I'm not going to say maybe he didn't know enough to say anything. Accept me for who I am. Don't try to change me. But some of us need some changing. I know I do. Hey, Carby. We talking about infidelity and Patricia getting on my head. Sweet is like making a sandwich to some, does that say sweet or sweat? That says sweat. I can't spell. And so then that means I can't read. Sweat is like making a sandwich to some men. It's the emotional cheating for me. It's the emotional cheating. I will have a problem if I find out that my husband is DMing some chick. I will lose my shit if I find out my husband is DMing and having intimate conversations with somebody. I think I would flip more with that than him sticking his dick in a hole. Because our frequency isn't the frequency that he would prefer. Because he wants me to want to have sex too. But I don't want to have sex at the frequency that he wants to have sex. So if he were to go and have sex at a higher frequency, thankfully for me, my guy handles his business in the bathroom. But if he were to, I'd understand, because I'm not fucking him at the frequency that he wants to be. And I'm telling him, I was like, look, the hole is always available. Partake whenever. But he's like, I want you to be into it too. I was like, shit, well, you're going to have to wait. And he waits. But if I found out this nigga was exchanging DMs and sitting having lunch meetings with brides, I'd be like, and what the fuck y'all talking about? But he has female friends. He's had female friends before me. And he has not ended his relationships like I can no longer be your friend type situation. But he only hangs out with me now. But our only rule when we got together is anyone that you have slept with prior to me, you have to end those relationships. But I'm not, you can't have female friends. You could be friends with whoever the hell. He's a barber. Like, stylists and barbers, they're friends. You always have to evaluate self and the relationship. Yeah, I agree. And I think we don't. I think we just take that shit for granted and just Been there, done that. But yeah, been there, done that. But yeah, when I was younger, I would lose my being about physical. Now in my 40s, it's reversed. I'm telling you, I am telling you. You ain't talking to me, but you gonna go talk to that bitch? Like, make it make sense. It's gonna make me clap, and I don't even clap when I get mad. You know, I get mad when I really reach deep into my sister girl and I start talking like this. Yes, you done touched a nerve. And if I found out that my husband was emotionally cheating on me, it would be one of those moments. That's where the betrayal was sink in for me. I can be honest, and I would say I am doing all of this work to get you to open up and speak to me, and you are opening up and speaking to other people, because it bothers me when he talks to his friends. It bothers me when he posts on Facebook his feelings. Man, the little angry Dre. Little angry Dre. I posted him in one of my videos. I may have deleted it. But in one of my videos, he had, you know how on Facebook you could do the little memojis or whatever? And he has this little angry Dre, so it's his little beard, and he's like, and he's always mad. Like, I go on his page and I just scroll, and you can see how many times he puts little angry Dre up there. I was like, you are not happy, Dre. You can talk to me about it and we could work on your happiness instead of you talking to Facebook. But it's whatever. I asked if we should get a sister wife. I'm saying, what do you need to be supported? Whatever you need to be supported, I got you. Bailey over here talking about she wants 3 husbands. I was like, as long as you treat them all the same. I was like, are you prepared to have 3 husbands, babies? Because that husband wants some kids, that husband wants some kids, and that husband don't want no kids, but you already got all these other kids. Having these 3 husbands, how's this going to work out? But if you figure out how to have 3 husbands, sis, because no, you're not going to get everything in one man. Be careful with the sister wife thing. Some women come to replace you. Ooh wee. Yeah, I can't do that. Yeah, I have a problem if somebody tried to. I don't have a problem sharing. But you ain't replacing shit. Yeah. All right, go talk some sense into me. Patricia talking some sense into us today. I feel you. No, not now. Years ago, like 10 years. Goddamn, how long you been married, Ree? I surely wouldn't now. I was overwhelmed during the time. I need some damn help. I literally joked with my friend. I was like, 'cause she cooks and I don't. I was like, can you at least just come cook for the nigga? So he could eat a hot meal. But they say food is the way to his heart. So she might steal my man. So we're going to have to reevaluate that. A man needs to be able to fulfill one woman before having many. Yes, in Islam, they're allowed to have the multiple wives if they treat each wife accordingly. If one is in lack and the other one is in abundance, then that is not accordance to the word, the scripture, or whatever. That is my topical knowledge. If you know deeper than me, definitely chime in. Amani, girl, I speak from experience and self-evaluation. And I'm receiving your wisdom, sis. I am not going to have to bump my head. I do not need the boulder. God does not need to chuck a boulder at my head. I'm listening to your wisdom. I'm listening to your wisdom. So yesterday, and I wanted to tell this story. So funny. Not funny, but yesterday, as soon as I got off my live, Angel, I don't want them problems, because women, especially if you allow one into your home, I think that, oh man, 12 years, congratulations, sis. 15 years together. I am friends for 13, 6 years together, 5 married. And I just learned how to be a wife. Women are competitive, and women will come in thinking, okay, I could play my position. But once they start getting that good, because my man is a good man. I don't care what nobody says. He may not be a good man by your standards, but damn it, he's a good man by mine. And that's all that matters, because he's my man. And another woman would see that good man, and she would see all my deficits as a person, and she's going to be like, 12 years, congratulations. That's a beautiful thing. I've been married 8 together, 16. Oh, for 8. Damn, I'm the baby in the bunch. I'm the baby in the bunch. We gonna celebrate our 8-year anniversary. We gonna celebrate our 12-year anniversary. We gonna celebrate our 50th. I'm not sure how old we'll be. I switch words up. I don't think that's dyslexia. Dyslexia is switching stuff up while you're reading, but when I speak, I switch words up. I'm 31. I'm the baby of that in that department. You are definitely the baby in that department, but you are the elder in the wisdom of the marriage department. So I listen to you too, Carby. If you got some advice, I'm listening. And so, yesterday Angel gets home from school and she's like, there's this boy that she had a crush on last year. I may have mentioned him in the live yesterday. And now she has a crush on another boy. And these two boys have now linked up, and apparently they're all in the same class now. And she's like, so-and-so and so-and-so, they were all laughing together, and for the first time they were both talking to me. And I was like, okay, so they're both laughing together and they're engaging with you. I just want you to pay attention to this. I was like, this may not be what's happening, but I want you to be aware. And this is the relationship conversations. What's the appropriate age? This is the sex conversations. What's the appropriate age? I believe when your child comes to you with any of these questions, it is now the appropriate age. Because this is where, and this is what I told Angel, I was like, this is where you start setting your standards. You start setting your standards the moment a boy pays you attention or the moment a girl pays you attention, however it works. This is where you set your standards. So thank you for the love. Thank you. She is like, they're kiki. And I was like, I'm not going to say this is the case. What I'm going to say is these two boys who both know that you have a crush on them are now, one's behind you in line and one's in front of you in line, and they're both engaging with you. That makes me think that they have talked about you, and that makes me think that they're now targeting you. Now, I'm not saying that this is the case. I just want you to pay attention and to be aware. So now when you're paying attention and you're watching them, you're aware of what potentially could be happening. Now, they're going to come to you and they're going to say, hey, Angel, can I have a kiss? Or, hey, Angel, can I hold your hand? Or, hey, Angel, can you share your snack? They're going to come to you and they're going to ask you for something. Now, when they ask you for what they want, they have both agreed, and I know this to be the case because it's just happened to Bailey, but we'll get to that situation later. We talked about it on my live last night. Whenever I have conversations that are, thought-provoking, I just pop on live in the middle of the night. So my lives at night aren't structured like this. They're really just you looking up my nose because I'm holding my camera down, but you're hearing the conversations. I'll post them on Lonee Appleton lives on YT, so please go follow me over there because as soon as I can migrate, I'm out. They keep violating me over here, and I'm still mad about it, and I'm gonna mention it several more times in these 3 hours. Anyway, I was like, whatever they ask you for, you have to set your standards, i.e., I will give you this if this is something you're willing to give, your snack. Okay, I'll give you my bag of chips, but in exchange for my bag of chips, I want you to do this. So I said, if he wants a kiss, he needs to be your boyfriend. You don't just kiss random people. You need to have a commitment and you need to have a relationship, or you need to have whatever it is that you're looking for. Whatever it is. I just said he needs to be your boyfriend. I was like, now look, to these boys, and like Patricia said earlier, sweat to a man ain't nothing. Saying I'm your boyfriend ain't nothing. So we can't get caught up in he agreed to be my boyfriend. So 2 weeks into him pretending to be my boyfriend, now he gets his kiss. And sometimes it don't even take 2 weeks. Monday, he asked me for a kiss. I told him he had to be my boyfriend. Tuesday, he became my boyfriend. I gave him a kiss. Wednesday, he broke up with me. Thursday, now here comes the other little boy asking me for a kiss. Friday, I give him the kiss. Saturday, he breaks up with me. You just got played twice, and you saw it coming at the very initial, when they're standing in line, paying you attention. They never did this before. So just pay attention, because this potentially could be happening. But how we get ourselves and we set our standards, he's like, okay, I will be your boyfriend. He needs to be your boyfriend and give you everything that you want. In I always say 3 months. I stick with what Steve Harvey said, the 90 days. I say 90 days because who is really that adamant about getting your snatch that they're going to do all this stuff that they don't want to do for 90 days? Most men will lose interest in the first month. If he ain't got you in the first month, he done targeted somebody else. And so in those 3 months, he's carrying your books, he's, buying you snacks, he's holding your hand, he's making you feel pretty, he's doing all the things that you demand of him, i.e., you are setting your standards. I will give you what you want, but you must first give me what I want. And before you ever get what you want, I must be satisfied. And that is how we set our standards. The thing is, we give them what they want, expecting them to give us what they want, what we want on the back end, and it never gets there. And that's how we end up feeling played. You can't feel played if after 3 months of him giving you everything you want, you've been happy for 3 months, you give him a kiss and he breaks up with you. You just got everything you wanted for 3 months. So you were bliss for 3 months. You won. And all you had to do is give this little nigga a kiss. Move on. If you don't see my value in those 3 months, that's you. That's your loss. But also in that 3 months, you give them the opportunity to see your value. Most boys, until they understand who you are using you. They don't take you seriously. My husband, when we first started talking, I sent him a picture of my titties. Apparently the Taylor titties or something. I sent him a picture of my titties. Yes, I was sexting. And he showed somebody my titties. There's a video where we're talking about it. Because he never apologized. He never apologized for showing my titties. He's like, what? They're just titties. But like Patricia said, sweat is just sweat to men. He don't value my titties. I should have valued my titties not enough to send them to him, right? So I sent him my titties and he showed another barber my titties. And then when he's arguing online with this barber years later, he's like, that's why I seen your wife naked. Everybody seen me naked. I used to model. Everybody seen my ass. Everybody seen my titties. And I'm a nudist at heart. I don't care. You gotta jab a little higher or jab a little lower. I don't know, because that right there did not hit where it was supposed to hit. Can you do a short video for teen girls on this topic? I certainly can. Topic in itself, setting your standards. Tell me specifically what you want me to put in the video. You don't have to give me a script, but just tell me the topics you want me to hit, and Spirit will do the rest. I know that sounds weird, but I think you understand what I just said. Anyway, so I was just telling my daughter, this is how you set your standards. You set your standards up front. So while we're saying there's no good men out there, there's no good, and there's no good, we have to think that these boys have been playing girls. I'm a fool, Patricia. These boys have been playing girls since day one. Since they could like a girl, they've been playing them. And we've been allowing ourselves to be played because all we want is the promise of a title. All we want is the promise of the ability to say, that's my boyfriend. We do not demand any boyfriend activity. We don't demand any of the things that we think that this mythological boyfriend in our head. We just think soon as he becomes our boyfriend, he's going to become this mythological, boyfriend guy. In his mind, he's like, okay, I'm boyfriend by title. She could call me boyfriend. I could call her girlfriend. This is cool. No, now that you're my boyfriend, this is what my boyfriend looks like. Boom, 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 boom. And if he can't do that, he's not your boyfriend. Do you understand? So that is what I told Angel. I was like, if one of these little boys come to you and they say, this is what I want from you, you'd be like, okay, boom, this is what I want from you. You want access to me? This is what you got to do to gain access to me. And if you can't go through all this to gain access to me, well, then you're never going to gain access to me. And I'm okay with that, because there is a boy, there is a man that's willing to do all of this to gain access to me. Dre was willing to do all of this to gain access to me. And that is how I learned self-love. I learned self-love because I finally found a man that was willing to do this, and this to gain access to me. And that is how you set your standards. And I didn't know that I was setting standards when I was doing that. But now I can sit back and in hindsight, well, this guy was able to cheat around on me. Why? Because he cheated on me and I stayed. This guy was able to, get money from me and all these other things. Why? Because I handed money over. Why? Because he was my boyfriend. But he didn't give me shit. He didn't do nothing for me. But he was my boyfriend. Yeah, guys learn very early, i.e. elementary school. Shoot, Michael has a girlfriend now. Well, I don't know if the summer, I think, kind of cooled off. Because towards the end of the summer, he was like, oh, girl ain't his girlfriend no more. They're just friends. So I'm not sure where that Michael's my 6-year-old. I'm not sure where that whole girlfriend, boyfriend thing goes. That was weird for me in the beginning to allow my then 5-year-old to have a girlfriend. I was like, boy, girlfriend, what the heck is that? You have a friend who happens to be a girl. But I was like, damn, it actually behooves or benefits him to have a girlfriend now so that he can understand how to treat a girl. Having a girlfriend doesn't mean we have sex. Having a girlfriend means this is someone I enjoy going to the butterfly museum with. This is someone I enjoy going to the park and playing with. This is someone I enjoy spending time with. So my son is learning at 5 years old to be able to be in the vicinity of a female and it not equal sex. It not equal physical touch. It not equal any of those things. But I can hug you. I can hold your hand. I can do these things. When we do not allow our children these experiences until they're in their teens and their hormones are raging and society says, boyfriend, girlfriend, sex. Boyfriend, girlfriend, sex. It doesn't say friends, get to know each other. If we decide we like each other, we have enough commonality, now we can get into a relationship. And then if we choose to have it, then boom. No, that's not our dynamic. Our dynamic is we meet somebody, we have a few vibe points, and usually those are trauma bonding points. And now we're in a relationship, and now we're having sex. And now I'm pregnant, and you don't even like me. But now I have this baby, and now I'm a single mother. And I didn't really like you either. But, you wanted to be my boyfriend, entitled. So anyway, I have this conversation with Angel, and I just tell her, look out for this stuff. And if he comes in using you, because he's trying to get something from you, because we don't understand what selfish is, we think take as much as we can with giving as little as possible. You make him give as much as possible. If he truly wants you, he will do what's necessary to have you. Period. And it starts on the playground. Selling ourselves short starts on the playground. And so, fast forward to later on. Let me read the comments really quick. Yes, I will film the video, setting standards, boys using you and setting you up, being aware, yes, we all have to be aware of all situations. Somebody is always trying to take advantage. Just know that as I move into the space that I'm going into, and I know one day I'm going to be signing contracts and making deals with people, and I have to know right now, sitting in my closet, that everyone who approaches me has their own personal agenda, and their own personal agenda is going to benefit them first. So I cannot jump on anything. I have to make sure that what I want, because if someone is approaching you, they want something from you. And the key is what you're offering is so uniquely yours. And that's how your price goes up. That's how your value goes up. I'm watching Bailey, and Bailey's going to be a beautiful mother. Bailey's going to be a beautiful wife. And she knows that she's in training. Because I was like, damn, you in training? She's like, I know. And she even says that to people. She's like, well, I'm in training. So she understands that this is her training ground. She understands that this is her classroom. She understands every interaction that she has with every individual in this family is how her future family is going to function. So she doesn't take it for granted. And trust me, boys are watching her. And they're like, she's going to be a good wife. But I'm not ready for a wife now. So I'm going to keep her in the wings because I see her potential. So that means anyone who approaches you, that means what you have to offer is something that they value. What you have to offer is something that is uniquely yours and they can only get it from you. So what you have to make sure that you are doing is valuing what you have to offer at the highest value. And you're not giving it away to the first person who asks for it. So when the contracts come, I have to automatically know whoever's coming after me is because they value what I have and they want it from me, and how easily or how many of my requirements are they going to have to fulfill in order to gain access to me. And the reason why these kids get caught up in these type of situations, like in the industry with these bad deals and all that stuff. And I'm not saying I may never sign a bad deal because I don't know what a good deal is. But they get caught up in this stuff because they're just so hungry for access that they'll sign anything, not knowing who they are. For them to come to you and want to sign you, you got something they want. So you have control. And for them to say, I'll just go find another you won't. And if you do, then this wasn't for me anyway, because what's for me is for me. Which means we can no longer be fearful of losing anything by having fucking standards. We literally are like, well, no, I'm not going to say anything about that because I don't want to lose him. Well, he don't care enough about you not to lose you. His tasting like fucking pussy. And you're like, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to lose him. What the hell are you losing? Sucking on a dirty, like, what are you losing? I don't want to say anything because, I don't want to say anything because, I don't want to say anything because. And now we are in a world of people who are just accepting mistreatment, and the people who speak up for themselves, who are assertive, are considered being rude. Bailey is very assertive. She has knocked that energy all the way off of her. She used to have the energy, which I taught her. But, you know, as I have checked my energy, I have taught her to check her energy. And so she has now taken that little piece off of it. She's no longer a bit. She's assertive. And so in her speaking up for herself, people still receive that as, oh, that's rude. I was like, and they can receive it as rude. You continue to be assertive. You continue to speak up for yourself. You do not let anybody walk over you ever again. Because guess what? The people that want access to you will do whatever's necessary to gain access. Jobs. There's why people can negotiate whatever the hell they want to on a job, because they want access that bad that they will do whatever's necessary to gain that access. Relationships. They will do whatever's necessary. That's why the man that I married is not the man that other women have dated. Dre is not the Dre that he has been with other women that he is with me. And that's why when women sit there and look at, oh man, you're married to my husband. Dre's supposed to be my husband. Do you really think the Dre that you dated is the Dre that I married? Do you really think that? No. Because my requirements for access to me were completely different than the requirements for access to you. Dre could just show up however he was, and you just allowed him in. Me, I was like, nope, we about to fix all these things. I'm gonna let you in because on the strength that we have been friends since 2010. Dre is not someone, when we got together, Dre would not be someone that I would date. Because you know how we all have the list, right? We all have the list. I had a list. Dre was not on my list at all. That's why from 2010 to 2016, I overlooked him. Why? Because he wasn't my list. But when I got with him, because he was like, let me love you. And I was like, damn, I did everything else. I done chased this list and I ain't made it, anywhere. So let me try love. Let's see what this does. And in that, because we were friends first, he had to prove himself to me. The dynamic that we're running into is we want this relationship. Now we are proving ourselves to him. But men's standards are so fucking low. Their standards are based on what their peers say. Their standards are based on what society says. Can she cook and clean? Is she submissive? Which is a perverse submission. True submission is both of you yielding and doing what's necessary for both of you to be okay. Now, one of you bending over and the other one over you looking at you like, yeah, bend down. No, that's not submission. So guys don't even know what they want until you tell them. Because when they align with the right woman, that woman is going to elevate them. So the only thing that a guy needs to keep in mind is this woman, this girl, but is this woman going to elevate me? If this individual is going to elevate you, then you have aligned yourself with someone who is going to improve and help you. Because we're fixers, right? Women are going into potential. Women are going into fixer-uppers. You know what I'm saying? That's most of us because we're fixers. We are listening to other people. We're like, oh, I know how to solve that problem. I know how to solve that problem. I know how to solve that problem. That's why Adam needed a helpmate. Adam wasn't the problem solver. Eve was. Now, she went and ate the apple. That's a whole nother conversation. But what I'm saying is, Adam was told, don't eat that apple. Adam was like, okay. Eve was told not to eat that apple, and Eve was like, why? What's so special about that apple? Eve asked questions. Men don't ask questions. Women do. Oh, man, I'm telling you. I don't value sex, but I value the cookie. I know the power the cookie yields. Oh, Lord. Anyway, so, Adam and Eve, it started then. Men don't think women do, and that's not a dig. That's just men need to be aware of that, so men need to align themselves with the woman who has their best interest at heart. I just posted that Lonee Lessons with Lonnie, where that guy is like, I'm just looking for my person. I was like, yo, simp ass. You're like, a real one don't want you because you don't know who you are. But what you're going to do is go find all these pretenders and they're going to use you up. And that's why these good guys feel like they can't find a good woman. And these women feel like they can't find a good guy because you keep going after these pretenders. But it's because you don't know who you are. And I would have accepted a pretender up until Dre. Up until Dre, who taught me my value, who taught me my worth. Or I guess he didn't teach me so much so as he offered the space for me to like, yo, this is how I could be treated in a relationship? What? I can have a voice? Because every man besides Dre has shrunk me. Every man besides Dre said, shut up and suck it. And that's not what they said, but that's pretty much what their actions said. And I did it because I don't want to lose them. I can't set my standards because I don't want to lose them. Nah, man, I will be single till the day I die. If me and my husband, Lord forbid, anything happens, I will be single until there is another man that will, and Dre has definitely, there's only 10 requirements here when Dre came in. There's infinity to gain access to me now. And that's why I say I will remain single, and I know there's probably men I could get you. You ain't willing to do what I require to gain access to me. Now, I go get my fill because I'm not going to be the drought season till the day I die. So I definitely will go get me some. But no one is going to have access to all of this. And I'm a dope ass human. You know what I'm saying? When you do the work to be a dope ass human, it's okay to say you're a dope ass human. That's right, Patricia. Dope ass recognizes dope ass. Go ahead, sister. That's my fist. Power to the people. You know, no one's gonna gain access to me. Not after what Dre showed me is possible. So it's not that he necessarily did anything but allowed me the space to discover who I am. And most men are not secure enough in themselves to allow the woman the space to know who she is. But if a man is secure enough in himself and he's aligning him with the woman that elevates him, he wants that woman to become the best version of herself, because as she becomes the best version of herself and she elevates, she's taking him with her. So in respect, I have been riding Dre's coattails financially because he's been the financial breadwinner this whole time. But Dre has been riding my coattails on the other side, because where he falls short, I excel. And where I fall short, he excels. And so that leads into the conversation with Bailey, where she was just like, I don't see how Dre is a good man. I don't see how he's a good husband. I was just like, because you see Dre from father lenses. You see him as a father. I was like, do you think he's a good dad? I was like, or she said, yeah, I think he's a good dad. I was like, yeah, because you see him as a father. You have not updated your lenses to see him as a man. And I don't know how to do that. I don't know if you guys need to, go on a date or something where you can start seeing him outside of the space of this is my father. Because if you're able to see him as a man, then now you can start seeing the qualities of a good man. And she's like, well, I don't want your relationship. I was like, I'm not telling you to go find a Dre. What I want you to see is how he respects me. What I want you to see is how he yields to me. What I want you to see is how we work cooperatively. Now, we didn't in the past, but now I know to cooperate. Before I dominated, but now I cooperate. I want you to see how he takes care of 2 children that don't belong to him. I want you to see how all of these things that this man does, he goes to work, he comes home, he goes to work, he comes home, he goes to work, he goes to the gym, he comes home, he goes to work, he goes to the gym, he comes home, he goes to work, he goes to the gym, he stops at the bar, watches the game, comes home. Pay attention to these things, and you start discerning and building your standards for access to you. What's the access code? You can watch him, and you can see. I was like, I am happy for the first time in my life. She was like, I don't know why. And she's looking at the physical world. And I was like, man, but even though the tower is crumbling around us, I am the happiest I've been in my life. That in itself should be indicative of the quality of life that I have established for myself. And the quality of life that I have established for myself is rooted in the man that I have aligned myself with. Lord, if my life was falling apart the way that my life is falling apart right now, and I was married to a shit human, man, I definitely wouldn't be on this yap running my mouth. My ass would be in somebody's office doing whatever's necessary to free myself from this bullshit. So, Patricia, to that point that we talked about earlier, that's what I think about. I'm just like, I love this man. This man is like, it probably would break my heart. I don't know. Let's hope that I never experience it. But what I'm saying is, I am the happiest I've ever been in my life with another human. And would infidelity change that? I don't know. Oh, I love us too, and I thank you for loving us. I really do appreciate all of you, because I've never had a space in this world, and I finally found it here. And I wish TikTok would stop hating on me. hopefully I can recreate this over on YT. But I know that this message can go further. I don't know nothing. I just need to just do what you're told, Lonnie. Don't do what you think, do what you're told. And I know this is bigger than TikTok anyway. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they just violate me all the damn time. They violate me all the time. I got violated today for it's one of my stories. Is I'm walking to the window and I'm telling Dre to hand me some water through the window. Yes. Wherever it takes us, I believe what is happening is bigger than social media. But yeah, all I did was knock on the window and say, hey, can you pass me some water? And they were like, community violation. And I'm like, I know when you get so many community strikes, then they kick you off. Like, I don't want to lose everything I built over here behind BS. Every time they violate me, it's BS. There is one time that I may have been violated. And in that respect, I really think somebody be sitting on my lives just waiting for me to say something. Because the violation just be so, I don't know. Anyway, so just trying to help Bailey shift out of mother-daughter. Yeah, that's exactly why people don't like me. They want me to sit up. You ever notice how, I really want to call you Pat. Do you go by Pat? I give everybody a nickname, but I don't want to call you Pat. I learned when I was in Jamaica and I was sitting with that little dude and I was like, what is your name? And he was like, Mike. I was like, Mike or Michael? And he was like, Mike. I was like, yeah, you just told me your preferred name and I questioned it because my preferred name is Michael. Why am I questioning this man when he told me specifically what his name is? Like, that was stupid to me, but I've done it my whole life up until that moment where I was just like, well, that's dumb, Lonnie. You tell people your name is Lonnie. They don't say, is it Lon or Lonnie? No, Lonnie. So, all right, Pat, boom, here we go. I don't remember why I asked you if I could call you Pat, so we're going to move on. Oh, yeah. You ever notice how the most inspiring stuff out there is just the issue? It's not the solution. Like, the people that get the most shares, the people that make the most noise are the people that are talking loudly about the problem. But the people who are talking about the solutions, they barely make waves. And I'm just like, that's crazy that we are all like, yeah, I see the problem too. Yeah, I see the problem too. Yeah, I see the problem too. Girl, check this video out. Yeah, they see the problem too. We all see the problem. And then here comes Lonee Appleton. I see the problem. Here's the solution. And this may not be your solution, but if it actually starts you to thinking that the solution is possible, let's do this work. They be like, this is my well-kept secret I'm going to put in my pocket. I ain't going to tell nobody about this. We keep the true solutions to ourselves, but we share the problem. Funny, my family and friends call me Pat. So, hey, friend. Yes, you guys this is sisterhood. I don't care. One day we are going to be at a retreat, chilling, talking. Like, I see this happening, us all just sitting around, kumbaya, and having some good old sister girl conversations. And I'm so excited in that space because then it can be a conversation. You know what I'm saying? We can all talk, respect each other, heal, and just have some great time. It's just so redundant and tiresome. And it's the fact that people don't even understand. I was like, you are in the infancy of your awakening. When you identify the problem, you're starting to wake up, but you are truly seeking solution when you get the solution. So don't get caught up on seeing the problem, seek solution. And it's redundant, but those who need you will find you, and they will. And that's what I sit in comfort in, because I look at the numbers, and I said this the other day. I go and I click on people's lives and they're not doing anything, but they have thousands of views and thousands of shares and they're generating all this money off of the dumb shit they're doing. And I'm just like, But I have to know that what's for me is so much bigger than this. You know what I'm saying? It's so much bigger than this. There is real healing and evolution going on over here. I just happen to be on social media. So I have to figure out how to play the social media game, but play it in my way, because what's happening here is not standard or typical for social media. This just happens to be the vehicle that is being used to push a message that needs to be heard. So that's why when people are like, oh, her video is longer than 7 seconds, I don't have time for it. Oh, she's high, I can't listen to her. Oh, her hair is all over her head. All these different things that we're programmed to, judge, turn off, don't pay attention to. The message wasn't for you then. But those who it's for, they gonna get it. My TT name is my roller derby name. My actual name isn't the name I was given. Ms. B. Ooh, you roller derby. Hey, how you doing? Welcome. You recently joined the community. But, yes, I really want to go to a roller derby match. I told Bailey she should join roller derby. That way she can, physical fitness and sisterhood and all that other stuff. But, she didn't listen. But I want to go watch roller derby. That looks so dope. Speak it, because I need, my first vision board that I made, which was the Black Girl Starter Kit, i.e. social circle, high paying job, all these different things. My Black woman starter kit, one of the things was I want to have an amazing social circle and kikiing with my friends. Well, that is manifesting now. This is my social circle. This is my kikiing with my friends. This is something that I put into the universe, but I put it into the universe the way that society says it should be. Going and having drinks. I don't even drink. I will drink, but I don't like to drink. Going out and doing things. I don't like leaving my house. But guess what? I can have sisterhood sitting in my closet and us having a dope ass conversation, because the ladies who are hanging out and kicking it with us, we know that we need to actually talk to each other in the comments and not just watch, in order to get the full fulfillment from what we're seeking, what we're receiving. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Bailey needs to update her lens so that she can see an example of not only what I qualify as a good man, but there's several people out there in the world. I got Patricia cussing. There's people out there in the world who believe that my husband has the mechanics of a good man. So, with that said, Bailey, you have right here in the home with you an example of the fundamentals that you should be looking for. Now, you create your own standards, but you want someone who listens to you. You want someone that respects you. You want someone who allows you the freedom to be yourself. You want someone who allows you to have freedom of expression. You want someone who lets you be you, especially when the spirit and energy that Bailey has is the spirit and energy that I have. And hers is untethered because she's 18. So the spirit and energy that we have, we need to have partners that will allow us to be and do whatever it is, because that's where our greatness is. Our greatness isn't in being captured in a cave. Me and a young lady were talking about why do we feel the need to capture and put in a cage things that we love, things that we enjoy? She was like, I saw this beautiful, I believe it was a bird. I saw this beautiful bird and I instantly wanted to capture it and touch it and pet it and make it mine. She's like, why do people have the urge when they like something to capture it and make it theirs? And I love Dre because, yes, he's captured me, but he has still allowed me to be who I am. He's not afraid for other people to see my greatness. Therefore, he has not demanded that I dim my light. He has not demanded that I shut my mouth. He hasn't demanded that I cover my body up. He hasn't demanded any of those things. He was like, boom, you continue to be great, and I got you. So he didn't force me to shrink myself. And it's crazy because we acquire these people, or we enter into these relationships because there were points about them that we loved. But then when we get them, because those points were so vibrant and bright, and those were points that other people were attracted to, we now force them to shrink themselves, because now that I got you, dim your light, because I don't want other people looking at you. But guess what? That same thing that called me in, I asked you to dim. So now you're not even giving me that sparkle. You know what I'm saying? So I think we shoot ourselves in the foot. But Bailey and I started talking, and some of it's on live. My phone kept dying. And so it'll be, the actual conversation will be reposted on Lonee Appleton Lives on YT. Follow me there. As soon as I get 50 followers, that's where I'm going to start going live so that I can stop getting violated. But part of our conversation was, she was like, I'm not going to tell you because I already know what you're going to say. I was like, yeah, don't tell me then. She ends up telling me, oh, we also had the conversation because I was like, are we friends? Because in my head, I think we're friends. And she was like, I already answered this, Mom. I was like, well, I don't know. Are we friends? She's like, I wouldn't talk to you if we weren't friends. I was like, you talk to me because you respect my advice and you know I'm going to give you some sage advice. But are we friends? Because I'd be on this here TikTok talking about my friend, my bestie, Bailey, and blah, 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 blah. But are we friends? And she's like, yes, you're my friend. I was like, okay, boom. So back to, I don't want to tell you because I already know what you're going to say. So here's the situation. She has these two guy friends that she's had since, she's known them since middle school, but their friendship started in high school. One of them she does have a past physical relationship with, and the other one she does not. Oh yeah, my mom and daughter are my best friends. Like, who else needs to be? Like, you can expand your best friends, but those friendships form your baseline of what a friendship looks like. You know what I'm saying? I don't hurt my daughter. I don't discount her feelings. I don't talk about her behind her back. I don't do any of those shady backbiting things that we accept from friendships out there. You know, so your first friends should teach you how to form all your friends going forward, friendships going forward. And the best place to start is within your home. Yeah, moms, because, you know, we're not one of your little friends. And we have to decipher between being a little friend and being a friend. I'm not one of my daughter's little friends. I was having a conversation. We were talking about self-pleasure yesterday. And I was just like, you know, in order for you to be able to not give yourself to people who don't deserve you, you're going to have to self-pleasure. And I was like, I don't want to have that conversation with you. I don't care. But it's something that needs to happen. She's like, well, will you take me to the store? And I was like, no, I'm not going to one of those stores with you. But I was like, hold on. Why wouldn't I go to one of those stores with her? That would be fun. I'll be in there giggling like a little girl. Like, yeah, I'll go to one of those stores with you. I've been to them. I'll take you. Why not? Your first experience in that environment, be with someone who has your best interest at heart versus, you know, whoever else is out there. So we were talking about self-pleasure. One of her little friends, she'd be like, girl, me too. No, I'm not your little friend, but I am your friend. So in order for you not to be out here just seeking for the sake of seeking, go and get you something in the meantime. You know, so that's the difference between a conversation with one of your little friends and your friend. So yeah, I'm not one of my kids' little friends, but yeah, I can give you some advice because I am your friend. I like all the different perspectives, but also sometimes, yes, God's good idea, God. Yes, good idea, safe and smart to go with. Yeah, you know, just so I can guide and be there. Shoot, I may pick something up. Once Bailey went into, this is TMI, but once Bailey went into my gun safe and she was snooping where she wasn't supposed to snoop, and she was like, I was like, hey, no one told you to go in the gun safe. So anyway, there's these two guys, and one of them he's a football player. Yeah, he's a football player. All the girls want him, you know, and Bailey is his confidant. So he talks to Bailey and he dates other women, other girls. Well, they're 18, whatever. And he dates other girls, but he's Bailey's confidant. And this roots back to a couple of lives back where we were talking about, should your spouse be your best friend? And then that roots back to what Patricia said, emotionally cheating. If your spouse is not your best friend, that means that your spouse is out there building a very solid emotional bond with somebody else. If they cannot talk to you, either they're not talking and they're a pressure cooker, if they're not releasing that pressure, or they're out there talking to someone else. And they could be creating that emotional bond with one of their male friends, or they could be creating that emotional bond with one of their female friends. The only saving grace with him creating that bond with a male friend is you don't have to worry about infidelity, but he is still disclosing his most intimate self with someone else besides you. So should your best friend be your spouse? I believe so. Why? Because my best friend is my spouse, and even though he's not comfortable talking to me, because in the past when he has talked to me, you know, I have given him flack about his ideas. So I have to let him know that I'm a safe space. I have to let my children know that I'm a safe space, and I have to let my husband know that I'm a safe space, because in the past they would say and they would do things. The conversation that I had with Angel would start telling me something, I would just cut her off. But she said, I don't like when you do that because you don't let me share my feelings. I understand what you have to say, but you never let me say what I need to say. So I allow her to speak and let her know that I'm a safe space. And so now she's starting to speak to me more and letting me know more intimate things. Working on my teen, she's guarded because our separation removed me from her life for too long. Yep. And I'm so happy that is your homework. And you just keep, and that's what I told my husband. I was like, if you go to your kid and they say nothing, come to him again, and come to him again, and come to him again. If no one is going to be a support for your child, where will they find support? So you keep coming to your kid and you keep doing the work because they deserve it. So I'm very, very thankful and very excited for that relationship. Because the more we heal, the more the world heals. Heal the world. It starts with us. It starts with us. The world is comprised of people who came from a family unit. And what do those family units look like? Look at the world. Look at your world of who you allow to surround yourself with. That means wherever Patricia came from, or over, I'm going to call you Roller Derby Girl because I can't remember your name, but whatever, Roller Derby came from, wherever Reed came from, wherever all of us came from, we came from the type of environments that at least left us in a space where we are evolutionary and know that there's work to be done. Therefore, my world is surrounded with people who are evolutionary and know there's work to be done. So heal the world starts with healing your world. And that's what we're doing. And I love that for us. So anyway, there's a jock guy who discloses everything and has intimate conversations with Bailey. And every once in a while, they have sex. And, but they don't date. And Bailey's like, I don't want him to be my boyfriend, but you want a boyfriend. Okay. It's something that I learned with Dre, and I tell my kids, sorry, dry mouth. Something that I learned with Dre, and I tell my kids, best friends make the best lovers. Friends first. Why? Because I got 6 years of experience, 13 years of experience, meaning we were friends for 6 years, been together or knowing each other for 13 years, of being with my best friend. When it's your best friend, you accept things that you wouldn't accept. And that's what I was saying earlier. Dre isn't any of my boxes. But because he was my friend, I accepted him, flaws and all. If he was not my friend and we came in immediately on a courting situation, I'm like, gone. But he's the best decision of my life. And that's why when people are like, man, he got to be this, and this, I don't want no projects. And I was like, you might not want a man, because if you want somebody that's already this, and this, and most men are looking for a woman to elevate them in somehow, raise them just like their mom did. Now the raising looks different, right? The raising, I'm raising Dre in the respect that I'm teaching him emotional intelligence. I just learned emotional intelligence. I'm raising Dre in the respect that, hey babe, let's try this. I took him on his first vacation. I took him to the beach for the first time in his life. The first time I told this man that we're going to go on vacation, he was like, no, I cannot miss work. I got to get this money. I was like, Dre, you're going to work yourself to death, and you're never going to spend any quality time with your family. So you're going to take a vacation. That's how you raise a man. You don't raise a man that's teaching him basic ethics. You should at least have basic ethics to be a good human being and not treat people fucked up and not talk to people any kind of way and all those different things. He has that raising. But how to experience life, now I have something to teach you. And you're also teaching me, because again, he's the financial support. So all the things that we've done, they were my ideas to do, yin, but he had the financial means to do it, yang. So we filled each other. And I'm going to jump around with this. And I don't know how to decline. I hit the X on the FaceTime, but it just expanded, and I don't know how to decline the FaceTime, so I just had to let it ring through. Yes, I have officially reached the age where I don't know how to work my damn phone. It works itself. Yes, what I'm teaching mine, when all else fails, at least they're your friend. We're all a work in progress. Sis. But yes, friendship is the reason why me and Dre are still together today. Not love. Not the fact that we got kids. Been there with, I don't know how to work this damn phone. I hate it though. Friendship has kept us bonded. Friendship has allowed things that we would not allow other people to say and do, but we allow our friends to say and do. So that strict requirement of, in a relationship where this person has to walk this line, or else in our standards aren't these standards, our standards are dumb stuff. A friend doesn't have to walk that perfect line. So friends first, start making connectivities, start hanging out. The 2 relationships I've had, the only thing that we had in common was sex. That's it. Like I said, we never set up and watched, and it's crazy. It is so crazy. And the fact that I take this stuff for granted. I had 2 relationships that equal 8 years of my life, and I can't remember too often us just sitting up and watching TV together. Too often were us just going out to eat and there not being some sort of conflict going on at the table. Too often where if we were both on our phones, we were definitely ignoring each other. Me and Dre were on our phones. We're just on our phones. You're like, hey, babe, look at this. We're still engaging even though we're on our phones. Like, it's crazy. If I could actually compare this relationship to past relationships. But back to Bailey. She was like, what are men good for but sex? I was like, okay, I was there and I understand what you're saying. My only cautionary piece of that is don't get married until your frontal lobe develops. Do not have children until your frontal lobe develops, because you will not see a man's value beyond sex until you're able to actually use your logical brain. You're a thinker because you're my offspring, but let's wait until your frontal lobe develops and you'll actually see what a man brings to the table. And it's not just sex, because if you think it's just sex, you're going to marry the best. If you think it's just sex, you're going to overlook all the other important things, and now you're married to the best. And guess what? As the ages, its potency isn't what it used to be. So if you're marrying someone for their potency, then when it starts dissipating, what is your marriage now? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, just don't get pregnant and just don't get married until you see that a man is more than just his body part. But isn't that something? Our boys and our men are out here slanging themselves around because that's all they think their worth is, their body part. You know what I'm saying? They have nothing else to offer until we set them standards. Hey, and those requirements. So in order to me down, in order to pipe me, you got to do this. And now this is what the value of a man is. Why? Because the man that is willing to do all of these things has now shown you his value because he values you. So if all you're receiving of value from a man is his, that is because that is all you required for him to give you in order for you to give him that cookie. And we all know, Patricia, how important the cookie is. Cleopatra had motherfuckers fighting wars behind the cookie. So let's not discount how important this baby is. But my daughter, she was like, I'm to the point where I'm not even giving a man my conversation. And I was like, you don't even get my conversation unless you giving me what I need. Yes, sis, raise your standards. I told you protect your cookie. You said I'm protecting my time in general. Elevate, sis, next level. That's what we're teaching our kids. We are teaching we're teaching our children to be better than us. And damn, I've been yapping for 2 hours and still ain't got to the point of my story. But I think we've gotten, I haven't sold no merch. Sister support. Yes, I'm going to start doing TikTok shop, which means I'm going to start selling stuff. 30% of my content is going to start being me selling something because I got to generate an income somewhere. So give a sis a pass when you watch one of my videos and I'm hawking something because I need to make some money here on this internet. Here's one of our pillows that is brown sugar. Yes, I can't afford my merch, so I only have a few pieces, but know your worth and charge tax. Bailey knows her worth. She knows her worth. She knows what her cookie is worth. She added tax, which means you don't even get my cookie. You don't get access to me. So know your worth. Cookie, add tax. You don't even get conversation from me. Dang, she went hard. I love me some brown sugar, girl. I'm going to unpack the actual pieces and show y'all one day. And this is Andy. I love Andy because she represents, all of us, all of our shades. We come in all kinds of shades. And it says, loving the skin that I'm in. All of my merch has a message. It's not just, oh, that's something cool to say. No, I live by it. I stand by it. Yes. And it says, loving the skin that I'm in. Thank you, sis. Yes, I put a lot of thought into the stuff that I do. Nothing is just because Dre was like, man, you need to make a t-shirt about what happened in Montgomery. Why? I'm not out here just to grab money. I'm not trying to hop on the next train. If it doesn't have meaning, if it doesn't have value, but how can I bring meaning and value to the, Montgomery situation where I can create a phrase that I couldn't, so I'm not. I don't do nothing just because. Not anymore. I did it when I didn't know who I was, but now that I know who I am, I showed my client your Janet. Yes. What do you do, Patricia? Patricia has clients. She may be able to find a client here in our chat box. What do you do, my friend? Yeah, I love my Janet. All those different pieces. Last year, I taught myself how to make faces. Before all of my artwork, it was faceless. So let's see. She's faceless. She has a painted on face, but she's faces. She has a face. Let me see. I don't have anything immediately available to me, but I made faceless portraits, and no one really, there's only 2 other people that I know of. Oh yeah, you are an artist. Duh. I remember you're an artist. Sorry. Because you're always talking about how we relate because of the art. I apologize. It's just, you said client, which made me think another arena. Anyway, Patricia is an artist, muralist, who is a location. So you are local. So I don't know if we can patronize you over the internet, but go check out Pat's work. You have it posted on your page, Pat? I don't get to visit you guys like I would like to. Oh, it's your lock client. Okay, but see, that's dope. That's dope that I did something that you're like, ooh, girl, look at this. And I appreciate that. That's what makes it beautiful. It makes it beautiful that we are putting things out into the world that other people are like, ooh, look at this. That means what we find important, not and things that we value, other people find value in. And that's the value of life. That's the purpose of life. We're out here searching for the purpose of life. Our purpose in life is connectivity. Our purpose in life is community. Our purpose in life is learning our lessons and evolving. But in learning our lessons, it's not for us to take the lesson to our graves. It is now our job to transfer it. And if we are fortunate, not to say it's a disfortune, but if we are allowed, I guess that's a better word, to have children or to be in someone's life where we can now share that learning, now you are helping the next person, which then feeds back into the community. So we are supposed to soak up game and put it back out there. Boom, this is what I learned. This is what I learned. And now you're elevating and you're growing your circle. You know what I'm saying? That's the purpose of life. It's not a particular job. It's not a particular anything. Yes, we have innate gifts of the spirit and we have things that we do well, but the purpose is, the fulfillment is learning and growing and knowing ourselves. The more that we know ourselves, the more so it's a you know, when I talked about that journey here, how I broke through all of it, what's the best that can happen? Because this guy, I had a crush on this guy since I was 15 years old, and I romanticized this man. He's a garbage human, but I romanticized this man. And one day I'm walking, he had money. He grew up to get money, and he was a not a sports agent, but he was the one that went and found the athletes to take to go get signed. So he hung around a lot of athletes. He was an athlete in high school, and so he worked his body out to be built like my kind, which is a cornerback physique. Oh my God. And my husband's working on it and he don't even know it. Yes, let's go cornerback. Okay. Anyway, that's probably why that motherfucker's so sexy to me now, because I was just like, I see your vision. I see it. Yes. But anyway, I'm walking through the parking lot and this Range Rover pulls up to me, and you know, as soon as a Range Rover pulls up, I was like, here's your standard barometer. But as soon as a Range Rover pulls up, you're like, okay, you ain't got to hit all those points because you got money, you know? And then if he's fine, you're like, you ain't got to hit all those points because you fine and you got money. And don't let the dick be good. You're like, you ain't got to do nothing but fuck me well and tell me I'm pretty. So anyway, he pulls up and he's like, we see each other and we start talking. And back then, boom, my conversation was a string of complaints. So how you doing, man? And he was just like, stop right there. He's like, as a man thinketh, so he is. I was like, huh? He was like, as a man thinketh, so he is. This ain't shit ass nigga quoting the Bible to me, right? You know the Bible too. He loved the Lord, girl. Oh, he loved the Lord. Anyway, I was like, and I didn't know it was the Bible at the time, but you know, as a man thinketh, the Bible says, so you need to control your thoughts. And I was just like, okay, whatever. Don't know what the hell you're talking about. And he tells me to read. I don't even know if I have the book. It's what's the boy's name? He got in trouble because he wouldn't unlock the I see his face. It's the white guy. Hi, guys. Everybody having a great day. And he got the curly hair, and he didn't open the church during the Houston floods or whatever. Y'all know who I'm talking about. What's his name? With the salt, well, it's more salt and pepper now, but the curly. Let me shut up so I can think real quick. Woo. Joel Osteen. Your Best Life Now. This is the book. Him, see? This and Tony Robbins changed my life. I didn't know any of this. So I read this book, listened to Tony Robbins. And Tony Robbins is all right with me because I owed $99 on the little CD thing, and they called me and I was like, I don't have it. They're like, okay, we'll write it off. That's the way you want to retain some clients. If I ever need a Tony Robbins again, they forgave my $99. Thank you. I read this book, listened to Tony Robbins, and really started doing the work to heal myself. As a man thinketh, so he is. So this crap human, that's why you can't discount the message because of the messenger. This man is a terrible human being. He done pistol whip bitches. He ain't pistol whip me. He was the one who used to, when we would have sex, he would like try to pound through the back of me and like bend my leg off. You know, as you get into it, your legs become more pliable, right? Now he just coming in, bending your leg all the way back, and I'm sitting there like, oh, this is painful. He's like, shut up and take it. Like, this isn't how it's supposed to be. And if I would have ended up in a relationship with this man, because even then I romanticized being married to this man, even though he was a human being, even though every time I went down on him, I knew that he was with another woman before me. And he would just tell me to shut up and take it. And I shut up and take it. Not having any standards. Because I just wanted to be with this guy that I wanted to be with since I was 14 and 15 years old. And this is my daughter. And so we can't discount the message because of the messenger, because those 7 words changed my life in that LA Fitness parking lot. He said, don't speak about yourself that way again. You need to know who you are. As a man thinketh, so he is. And I did the work and I documented it in this book. Don't read it because, oh, grammatical errors. Oh, that's a run-on sentence. I edited it myself and I don't know nothing about sentence structure, but I know how to heal yourself. So read my book from the perspective of what's in it for me and get that healing done. Yeah, he was a crap human. I'm getting back into my art. Let me see. Do you sell your wood art? I couldn't find it on your website. So the piece of my art, or the piece of my website that is the art gallery, I haven't paid the bill. So you're not going to find my art on my website. My current pieces, no. Commissions, yes, start at $1,500 plus shipping. And yeah, we would just have to talk about, go to Lonee Taylor Art here on TikTok and you'll be able to see my process. You'll get to see my other pieces. I do family members. I won't do any celebrities for $1,500 because I know that my art is going to sell for 6 figures one day. So I am not going to, that's what Bailey said. Why can't you just sell one of your pieces for $4,000? I was like, so they could resell it for $600,000. That once Lonee Appleton is a thing. Ooh, I got one of her art pieces. Then she don't make art no more. No. I'm not going to sell my soul. You won't break my soul. I'm not going to break my soul for a quick payday. But what I can do is I can make your grandma. I can make your cat. I can make whatever you want me to make. I can make your house. Go check out Lonee Taylor Art over on my art page. I could do everything. And I took that year in the Janet Jackson, the Tupac, the Nipsey, the Biggie, all of those things. I did all of those to teach myself how to make faces, because everybody in my industry, which is scroll saw, I'm a scroll saw artist, Everybody in my industry at the time was like, what you're trying to do has never been done and it can't be done. I was like, that's a lie, and I'm gonna figure that shit out. And so I took a year and I learned how to make faces. Now, there's two other people that make faces, but they don't make it like me. But they're equally as dope. One is a cultural appropriator. His energy is just, and he's making so much money off of, like, he made a Kobe Bryant, and this is how divinity works. So we can't believe that our break isn't coming, because if we watch other people and just see how divine works in their lives, then we can see how divine can potentially work in our lives. So that's why I'm open about the financial struggles. I'm open about the marital struggles. I'm open about the struggles with my children. Why? Not because I want sympathy, because, I am going through what everyone is going through, but I'm solution oriented. So you guys will not only see me go through it, but you'll see me overcome it. And you're like, well, shit, if she could do it, so can I. So I'm watching this guy, and he's a cultural appropriator, because he did a Kobe Bryant, and one of the people who follow him was a friend of one of Kobe's previous teammates. So it's not about, I'm always like, man, I just need a blue check mark to notice me and repost me. I just need this big person to post me. And no, I just need you guys to notice me and repost me and to share me with your clients like Pat did. That's what I need. Because you don't know who knows, you don't know what's happening. So be thankful for everything. That's what they said in Jamaica. Just give thanks. I was like, damn, all I got is this Jamaican 100 bill, and that ain't even enough to buy you a bottle of water. I apologize. He was like, give thanks. I didn't give you nothing for you to give me something. For you to give me anything, give thanks. And so Kobe Bryant's old teammate sees the Kobe, buys the Kobe, and now this man is locked in with the NBA. This man is making wood art pieces for all these basketball players, and he's dope as fuck. He's dope. His name is Happy Life Wood, because I'm not a hater. His name is Happy Life Wood. Go check him out. But peep his energy. He's a cultural appropriator. He's not of the culture, but he is eating off of the backs of all of these black athletes, all of these, NBA, all of this stuff, making all these black faces. His Nipsey is terrible. I'ma call a thing. But he just made this jersey, y'all, out of wood. And it's a 3D jersey, so it spins around and it got the number on the front and the name on the back, and then it's like see-through. I was like, I don't even know how the hell you did that. I respect your artistry, but you're a cultural appropriator, so I'm not going to celebrate shit you're doing because you're eating off of our backs. And, if the people who are supporting you don't see that about you, then that's none of my business. But it's real interesting. Oh, but the point I was making was, this man has now skyrocketed into the stratosphere. He went from a couple thousand followers to now he's got like 200,000 followers or something like that. And he's probably got back orders on his stuff. And he can charge whatever the hell he wants to. But it's because he made a Kobe Bryant one day, a person who only has 30 followers, because I went and did the research. I was like, how the hell, who the hell, what? The person that saw the Kobe Bryant only has 30 people on his profile, so you think that person's not doing nothing, right? But that person knew Kobe's old teammate. And now Happy Life Wood is plugged in for life. So you don't know. Just keep going. Keep pushing. Keep doing what you're doing, because you don't know when your time will hit. The only thing that we know is your time will not hit if you quit. Who knows what song just popped in my head? It's back into my art because I've matured as an individual, so I want my art to reflect. Ooh. Let me know when you tag me, send me the DM of the videos where you post your art. I want to see your evolution. I don't have time to go and watch videos anymore because I just don't. But if you tag me and send it to me, I'll be there. I feed many souls. Now I need to feed my own. Amen. Amen. And you can only feed others what you have to give. So if you're not feeding yourself, so I'm happy you know that. Yes, never mind, you said it. Oh, what is his profile? I was going to be a hater too. I was going to be like, I ain't telling y'all about that motherfucker. But yeah, go check his stuff out. Go check his stuff out. He's dope as fuck. You know. But thank you. Let me see. Yes, I have a 60 by 30. I purposely priced at $6K so the person who truly values it will drop that. Sis, I am watching. This is going to run past 3 hours just because I still want to tell the story about Bailey. But I am watching. Maybe I should respect the 3 hours. I need to learn time control. I'll try to speed this up. Anyway, I'm watching Selling Sunset or some sort of high-end selling real estate show. And this person is showing their house and they're like, this movie projector is $30,000. I was like, you drop $30,000 on a movie projector, you can drop $30,000 on a piece of my art. Something that did not come down assembly line, something that my blood literally, because I cut myself often, something that my blood, sweat, and tears is in, something that I had to sit and teach myself how to do, a skill that I had to develop myself, something where I'm one of the 3 people that I know who does it, and I'm the only one who does it my way. The other guy is Ink Americana. It's either Ink and Americana or Ink Americana. He's dope as fuck. He's dope. But he still don't do it like me. So it's all about, we can all do the exact same pieces and put it next to each other and nothing diminishes the value of it. So for us to sit here and be like, there's only one place for one of us. No, there's a place for all of us because we can all do the exact same piece and somebody's going to like that one, somebody's going to like that one, and somebody's going to like that one because it's the same, but it's all different. We're all the same, but we're all different. And the reason why we can't seem to stick out as an individual is because we're all trying to be the same. No, we're the same, but we're all different. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Yep, it is. It's the intricacies for me too. Look, and I'm divinely tapped in. First of all, my co-worker is my mom. My mom passed away in 2013, but she is my co-pilot. I have a piece. I'll bring it on Monday if I remember. I have a piece that I carved for her in the 7th grade because for some strange reason I ended up in wood shop. I have no idea how I ended up in wood shop. Maybe it was required. But after, I gotta fill my lungs up so I can get it out. But after I was in wood shop and I started working on the tool that I'm working on now, I was like, I remember using a tool like this in the 7th grade. You never know how the divine is working. I used a tool that I make the art that I make now in the 7th grade and had no idea until I started doing it. And I was like, I made my mom the Wile E. Coyote from Tom and Jerry. Not the coyote. I made her Jerry, Tom, whoever the hell the cat was. It's probably Tom Cat. I don't know. Jerry was the mouse. Doesn't even matter. I made her the cat and I made her name, which was Dove. That was her nickname. And I still have her Dove. I'll bring it on Monday. Facts. What is his profile? So there's Happy Life Wood and there's Ink and Americana. And their price points. I think Happy Life Wood at the time is charging $3,000, which is way too low for what he does because he takes real wood. So I use MDF and then I paint. I am a realistic artist, you know, and but Happy Life Wood takes species of wood and creates. Go check him out. He's dope as fuck. And that's the beauty of creatives. Pieces to a puzzle, I say. Yep. Lost my mother in 2017. Did her portrait to heal my heart. Yeah. I still have to do my mom. I still have to do her. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. There's not really too many pictures of my mom because we were estranged. But I'm very, very thankful that you had that outlet. We all need to have a space of healing and to coming terms with loss of potentially one of our greatest relationships. I definitely am Bailey's greatest relationship. And so, hold on. See, I told myself to wear pants just for this reason. I was like, girl, put some pants on. You may have to get up. Man, this closet is a treasure trove. I got all kinds of good stuff in here. So I had to teach myself how to paint because I identified as an artist because I had to identify as an artist in order to understand that people wanted to buy my art. You know, I was just like, I'm just doing stuff and people were like, well, how much? And I would give my art away for free. And then I sold it for $100. I was like, is $100 okay? Is $200 okay? Is this okay? Like, I didn't believe in my artistry. And I bought all this acrylic paint and I just slapped and paint on stuff. I didn't know what I was doing. But in 2022, I decided I'm going to teach myself how to make faces and I'm going to teach myself how to paint. There's always a method. And so I took a physical class. She didn't teach me nothing but how to properly clean my brushes, which I'm in gratitude, but I paid $316 to learn how to properly clean my brushes. I think I should have got something more from that class. Maybe because she wasn't teaching me and it was more of an independent, even though it said in the description, all painting levels, but all she did was sit on her iPad the whole time and every once in a while she would come and give some direction, but everybody else was an artist. I wasn't an artist. So I took that class, didn't learn anything. And then I took an online class from this chick I found on YouTube. And this was one of my first realistic paintings that I did. And I don't paint on canvas, and so, you know, there's inconsistencies there. But that's one of the first realistic paintings I did, teaching myself how to paint. And I didn't know what I was doing, but I think I did pretty well. And then I took another class. This class was in, I believe, Spanish. I don't know. So imagine taking an online class that you don't understand the language, so you're trying to read the subtitles at the same time as you're trying to watch the technique. It was a very difficult task. But this guy was... So these are the two paintings that taught me how to paint realism. Because I want to replicate photos. I am a photo replicator. Which means if you give me a photo, I can replicate it. I've always been good at copying. I know, them eyes go hard, sis. Them eyes go hard. And so, you know, I've always been good at looking at something and being able to replicate it. And so that's what I do with my art. And I could create your face and I can recreate all these different things. And you will pay me what I ask for, or you can go somewhere else because I know my value. You know what I'm saying? And I'm doing art now because I need to bring in an income, not because I identify as an artist still. I arted to teach myself many skills. I learned patience. I learned perseverance. I learned how to overcome. I learned to see myself for the boss-ass human that I am. Like, people are like, oh my God, your art is so good. Your art is so good. People tell me all the time how good this is, and I see it now, but when I was doing it, I was like, it doesn't look exactly like his picture. I failed. This is a chick who learned how to paint while this man was speaking Portuguese. And I pulled this off. Watching him on this little screen right here. Let's go. Appreciate your value. Appreciate who you are. When people come to you and tell you that you're dope, believe that shit, because they see you from a perspective and a lens that you don't see yourself. So when people tell you, know it's true, especially if you hear it from multiple sources. Especially if you hear it from multiple sources. But also on the feedback end, if somebody's telling you, hey, you know, the way that you talk to people, the way that you talk to people, the way that you talk to people, receive that feedback as well. Because after you're done getting offended, now you can grow. But anyway, I'm not going to lose track. I'm going to stay focused, having a conversation with Bailey. And there's this little boy that she was just like, I think somewhere in her head, she was like, I'm going to marry him. And she has romanticized it, even though she won't communicate that to me. And she's been okay with being his friend this whole time while he dates all these other girls. And I was like, Bailey, this is what's going to happen. I want you to listen to me. I do not want you to listen to him. I don't want you to listen to the voices in your head. I don't want you to listen to society. I want you to listen to me. What is going to happen is this man has identified you, little boy, but he's over 18. This man has identified you. His work, I see what you're saying. He's white selling black art. Your art is better. I think I'm not going to take away from his skill. Like, he go hard, but ain't no heart in it. You know what I'm saying? He's just doing it because people are coming to him and he's like, okay, I'll take your money. My work has heart in it. And that's why I brought my mom into it, because she's my Cody. I pray before I make every piece, and I'm saying, especially if I'm doing a memorial piece, I'm like, yo, your family member wants me to replicate this piece, so you put your stank on it. And every time I do that, I always include something in the piece. I'm going to start a series where I'm talking about my pieces, but, you know, it's just the work to do it. But every time I do that, someone always comes back to me like, man, I don't know how you knew it, but the little thing that you included in that picture, that was their favorite thing. Man, I don't know how you knew their favorite color was this. Man, I didn't know you knew. How'd you know this? Because I asked them. I said, yo, I got to do this piece. You better make this thing pop. And spirit guides me. So that's why when I told Ree earlier, I was like, you just tell me what you want the topic to be. You don't tell me what to say. Just tell me the topic and spirit will do the rest. Spirit has been doing the rest since I've been doing art. And that's something I learned from art. I'm not an artist, but art taught me to trust spirit. Art taught me how to develop faith. That's a connection I'm making right now. So anyway, yep, that's doing it for the money. Yes, I used to do memorial portraits. You channel them. You do. It's so dope. It's so dope. But, yeah, I was like, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. This little boy has identified you as a potential. And what's going to happen is he's going to continue to chase what he's going to continue to chase, especially with him being an athlete. So yes, always guide you. He's going to chase what he wants to chase, but he's always going to keep you on the sideline because he sees your potential. And as he sees your potential, he's going to date all these women. He's probably going to get married. He's going to create children. He's going to do all these things. And he's always going to come back to you and fuck you whenever you give him the opportunity. But he's going to say, man, I can't date you because I don't want to ruin our friendship. I can't date you because I don't want to ruin our friendship. And you're going to believe it. And you're going to continue to allow. Don't do that. Do not allow him to treat you like an afterthought. And I was like, I know that's what's going to happen because I sat there and did that with my cousin. She met this boy when we first turned 21. Well, she first turned 21. I was 20, sneaking in the club. But anyway, she met this boy when we first turned 21, and he was a Cardinals. We live in Arizona, so he was a Cardinal player, football player. And, she just romanticized this boy. And it was a sign because his name was Lonnie. We have the same name. Oh my God, it's a sign. And so I was her Cody the whole time when she was just like, he just got to get his stuff together, girl. Soon as he gets out the league and soon as this man went and got married, had kids, done did everything, all the while coming back and still sleeping with her when he can and feeding her all these dreams like, yeah, soon as never came. Now she's very private, so I don't know. She might be married to his ass now, but shit, the nigga worn out and worn through. Do you want him now? He didn't want to give you him in his prime. He actually gave another woman him in his prime. And now he's coming back to you after he's worn out and worn through. Is that who you truly want? Sorry. Gotta wipe my lips. I was like, so yeah, don't let the fantasy of when you first romanticize being his wife be the reason why you allow him to run through you. Now, the other boy, her best friend, I was like, I would pay attention to this kid. Now, I'm not going to tell you this kid, the same thing with my husband. I'm not telling you that Dre is who you need to go find as your mate. Dre has qualities that are value qualities that you need to now put in your wheelhouse so that when you're out there looking for a mate, do you see these qualities? Does he respect you? Does he do any of these things? Because Dre does all of these things. Whatever my requirements are, Dre does them. Dre continues to evolve and change from the man that he was because I demand it. I just have to figure out how to demand it in a way that does not cause an argument. I'm going to figure it out. I'm learning. I just stopped being a domineering bitch. Like, there's levels to this. I'm learning. So you don't have to go find a Dre, but find a man that checks all your boxes before he even gains access. And we don't do that because we're afraid to lose him. Lose him. They don't want to work for you. If he doesn't want to work for you, you don't want to give him what he wants. Period. Raise your standards of yourself. And so anyway, the other guy is her little best friend. And I was just like, pay attention to this kid because this is the kid who you both have these heartfelt conversations and all these different things. So you guys are making those soul connections together. But on the surface, I think what happened with them was he was already in a relationship. Or somewhere in there, because I learned that he's been in his relationship for 3 years. So somewhere in there, he got into a relationship and he did not identify her until later. So now he has identified her. And you know that he's identified her because they're friends. They tell each other everything. Isn't that who your spouse is supposed to be? So what this little boy did, there's a group chat. And Bailey became the subject of the group chat that both of these boys are in. Because there's this guy, apparently there was a Get Bailey plan. And I've had this conversation, so I'm not talking behind her back. Apparently there's this Get Bailey plan. And this guy got her. And so now there's 2 guys in the group chat that Bailey has been with. No fault of Bailey's. Bailey's trying to figure this shit out. I'm coaching her through it. She gonna stumble, she gonna fumble, we gonna come back, we gonna reconvene, and we gonna go back out there and we gonna try to figure it out a second time, a third time, a fourth time, a fifth time, until she figures it out. Thank you. So anyway, it gets out that Bailey has the best titties in the West. I was like, goddamn Bailey, I need to see these titties at this point because everybody is raving about these goddamn titties. So what this little boy that is her best friend comes to her and he says, hey Bailey, can I see your titties? And I'm like, he's a little boy. He's in a group chat, and it's gonna be bros before hoes until it's not. And that's why I told the story about Dre showing my breast. He would never show my breast now. He would never show a naked picture of me to his homeboy now. Because he moved me out of this box and moved me into the wife box. And now he's going to protect me because I'm in this box when I was bros before hoes before when we first started talking. He identified me, but he didn't identify me until he identified me. Those of you who know, that made sense for you. And so he's in this group chat and he's hearing how amazing Bailey's breasts are, and she's over 18, so this is not violating any community standards. And so he asked her, and she's like, no, I'm good. You have a girlfriend. And then the very next day, the girlfriend posts on her social media, oh my God, it's our 3-year anniversary. And first, Baby's like, should I say anything to him? I was like, it's whatever. He's a boy being a boy. But then I was like, boom, just like I had that conversation with Angel, this is where you set your standards. Bailey, this is how you teach them how to treat you. So yes, you call that little boy up and you tell him this. You tell him, look, you were in a relationship and you disrespected me. You came to me and you said, show me your breasts on the eve of your 3-year relationship. If you respect your relationship, you don't disrespect me. You don't disrespect her. If you want to be in a relationship, then you clear whatever you need to clear and we can go on that road that you want to try, but you will not treat me like another woman. I deserve way more respect than that. And you being my best friend, you should know that shit. Check his ass. And when you check him, I bet you cash money he will apologize. Now, the other little boy, the little athlete guy, I bet you if you check him on his stuff, I was like, going forward, you check these niggas because that's how you start. These are my requirements. If you want access to me, you're going to fucking respect me. Don't call me with the girlfriend on the eve of your 3-year anniversary and ask me to see my titties. How is that respecting me? He's going to apologize and he will never approach you like that again. And he will know because you set your standards to not approach you like that. Your value is way higher than that. And he knows now. So definitely check his ass. Not, oh, I don't want to lose his friendship. No. If he can't respect you, he's not a friend. So I told her, I was like, yeah, I bet you. Check him on that and he will apologize and he will level up for you. And I'm not saying he is your person. I'm saying those qualities are of your person. I'm not saying Dre is your person. I'm saying those qualities are of your person, which means someone who respects you, someone who's going to evolve for you, someone who is going to shift from bros before hoes. Those are the qualities you need to look for. And so we had the conversation yesterday and she's like, you're right. I was like, I know I'm right. And I bet you if the other little boy, the athlete little boy, he's going to do something to violate because he has always done something. Like every story she's told me about him, I was just like, and what did you do? Okay. You played that wrong, right? Okay. But every little story she tells me, I call him the hiker. Every story she told me about the hiker, I was like, he's got some good nuts and bolts. He's just a fucking kid. So he's going to do kid stuff. He's going to do irresponsible, dumb stuff. He's a kid. But I bet you if you check him, you can level him up and you can mold him to be the perfect friend. And the thing is, your soulmate is closer than you think. i.e., Dre is my soulmate. And while we were friends, he was in and out of relationships. I was in and out of relationships. And the same thing with my daughter. Her and Hiker are in and out of relationships. And I'm not saying make a move on him. What I'm saying is let it be known that you are open to a relationship as well. Because what's going to happen is society tells us we cannot ruin our friendships by entering into a relationship. When Dre said, let me love you, I was like, I'm afraid to ruin our friendship. No. When your best friend is like, let me love you, and they're progressive, This little boy, Hiker, is progressive, and you'll be able to test that when you tell him to apologize to you when he does. That means he just developed a behavior necessary for you. He wouldn't have apologized except you demanded it, and he rose to your standards. That means he respects you enough, and that means you can mold him. That's what I told Bailey. I was like, you ain't never going to find a perfect man, but you will find someone who is moldable. And when you can mold him into your Adonis, shit. I was like, you think this man that's sitting out there on that back porch right now and all the flaws that you see with him, he was not who he is today. I have molded him for me. And in that respect, I am now inviting him in to mold me for him, which is foreign for both of us. So we're learning how to do that. But you need to find the man that loves you enough. And that's why I say he needs to love you more than you love him, because a man will conform and do whatever's necessary to be in your orbit. Like that word. And so I was like, yeah, just let him know, hey, if you're ever single, I'm open to a relationship. And that's not telling him to break up with his girlfriend. Maybe he's just holding on to that girlfriend because they've been together for 3 years. He clearly doesn't respect her if he's asking to see your titties. Like, that ain't respect. That ain't love. That ain't the type of relationship I want. Go see that bitch's titties and break up with me. We're good. I don't need to hang on to you just because we got 3 years and we can say we've been together since high school. No, fuck that. I don't want to be unhappily married with you while you're looking at your best friend's titties. I don't want that. So it's very apparent that this little boy is only in this relationship because he's a habitual dater, which is a good thing. He likes to be in relationships. My husband likes to be in relationships. My husband was never a sleeper rounder. He was always, I'm going to be in a relationship, and he's allowed himself to be in bad relationships because he's a relationship guy. So it's okay to let your best friend know, if a relationship were to come up, I'm open to that. Because if you don't let your best friend know, society tells us that you don't date your best friend. You have your best friend over here and your relationship over here. And you're miserable in your relationship, romanticizing about your best friend. How about you make your best friend your relationship? Boom, 259. You better go off with that. I think I made a point. I know that's right. Yes, an older lady told me that years ago. Be with the man who loves you more than you love them. My aunt told me that. My aunt was like, they didn't teach me much. But one of the things that I soaked up was find you a man that loves you. I have a whole playlist if you don't understand. Not you, but anybody else. Because it took me a very long time to understand it myself, because I always thought that meant you were using somebody. No, in order for a man to yield to you, he must love you and he must trust you. So you yield to him because he yielded to you. And now you're both yielding to each other, and you got wings and you're elevating. Oh, I love how corny I am. All right, guys, we had a dope ass session today, right? I really enjoy these times. I enjoy coming and speaking with you guys. And I can't wait till we could all do it face to face. That relationship up, poor so-and-so. We're learning. We are learning. And what I love is in our learning now we can transfer that to our babies. And they could transfer. And now they can navigate through things. Angel, who is 11, has been put up on game because I'm not against having those conversations with her. Bailey, who is 18, is now put up on game because I'm not above having those conversations with her. And now my children aren't the next children up to be played, even though I got played up until I was 36 years old. My kids don't have to wait until they're 36. So when we say there's no good men or no good girls out there, it's because we have no standards. We put our standards here. We take whatever we could get, and they're like, oh, by the way. And they're like, fuck that shit. I already got you. And you're like, okay, I don't want to lose you, so I'll take whatever I can get. And now we're miserable. Standards up front. Alrighty. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. I will see you on Monday. Enjoy your Sunday. Be blessed.